Hello, and welcome to the 2023 Off Slate Media Oscar Special Spectacular,
Woo!
where three millennial idiots walk through all these movies we haven't seen.
We know a little bit about movies.
Yeah, some of us here have seen some of these movies.
Some of them. I've made one feature.
Out
of here?
Come on,
here,
Dickey. You've
but-
seen at least 2 of these.
Okay, I've seen more than 2. At least 3.
Yeah, 3. 3 maybe.
But yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
So for the Academy Awards this year, we have quite the full list of things to get through. There are 23 categories. We will be skipping the short film categories, which are documentary, short, live action short, animated short, because we've not seen any of them or know really any of them. And we're going to skip documentary feature because we haven't seen any of them.
We're all giving respect to the people that made them.
Yep.
Those are hard to make, but there's just no way to see them.
Wait. You mean Harry and Meghan didn't make the cut?
Oh
Isn't
my
that a
god.
show?
Is Harry and Meghan on here? Is that
I don't
actually
know.
or something?
It's a documentary. It's split into 4
Yeah, that's a show.
parts.
That'd be a mini-series, though.
Okay.
Yeah, they changed. Actually, if you want an early bit, they changed rules on that because the OJ Made in America documentary is technically supposed to be watched in like 6 or 7 parts, but they screened it in New York as a full 7-8 hour movie, so it could be eligible for the Oscars. And then it won the Oscar, and the very next year they changed the rules, so you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, they caught him. They got him on that stipulation there.
Yeah, it's nice that they got the win because it's a fantastic documentary, but now things are different.
Makes sense.
But anyway, we will be skipping those categories. Just lack of knowledge from all 3 of us, whereas most of these categories, at least 1 or 2 of us can actually say something about a couple of them. So that means there'll be 19 categories for us to work through. Some will be briefer than others, probably. There are movies on here that have many nominations, so we'll be talking about some of the same movies over and over, but we'll try to
Everything
focus
everywhere.
Yeah.
Woo! Sorry, I'm just very excited about that one winning or nominating.
Yes, I believe that was tied. Yep, that one had... Nope, not tied. It has the most nominations with 11.
It does? Yeah, baby! That's
Yeah,
exciting.
so that's...
You think a sci-fi movie is actually going to win for once?
I want it
You talking
to
about Avatar?
so badly.
No. I didn't even think... I didn't even think about that.
It's funny. I'm a nerd, so I have an account on Sporkle where I make quizzes, and I updated a quiz about best picture nominated sci-fi movies, and I go, oh yeah, I added Everything Everywhere, and then left it, and then about 30 minutes later, I realized, oh yeah, Avatar's here too. I completely forgot about it, just because I don't think that much of it. But we'll get into it. Well, actually, we're gonna get into it right now because we're gonna end with picture.
Yeah,
Some of the bigger ones later. We're gonna start. Not that necessarily this is the least big. It's just we're scrolling through Wikipedia, and we're gonna look at best visual effects to start it off.
What was all nominated for best visual effects?
We have the new All Quiet on the Western Front adaptation out of Germany. We have Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman,
Woohoo!
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick. Yep.
That all checks out to me, honestly.
Yep, I have seen all 5 of these.
I have seen 1, 2, 3 of those.
I have also only seen 3.
I'm assuming we've probably seen the same. Well, actually,
Yeah,
not the same.
Batman, Black Panther, and Top Gun Maverick is what I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, but I have seen Way of Water.
Wait, you haven't... Really?
I know. I just never caught it.
You didn't catch what?
Maverick.
Oh,
I really wanted to.
That's a little bit of a shock.
I know. I really, really wanted
it's
to
the highest
catch
grossing
it,
movie of
but-
the year domestically.
Domestically.
Isn't it on Netflix now?
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. But I mean, is there much of a conversation to be had with this one?
Well, I just want to point out that I really loved the Batman.
I'm so happy it got nominated.
This year. I feel very bad that it got nominated because it is just the wrong year to be nominated for something like visual effects.
Oh, if this came out in like 2020 or 2018, whereas like 18 was a weaker year for movies, and 2020 less came out because
Just
of COVID.
yeah.
Now it wouldn't have come out because they want the box office, because it would have come out like the month COVID hit. Actually, it might have beat it if it was the same date. The point being,
Oh, that's true.
it would clean up some of these. When you get into a very stacked year like 2022 is, it doesn't have that many. I think it has 3 nominations. Yep, 3 nominations total, which great movie, just sad that it is.
It's a tough year. And I have a quick side note I just want to throw out there really quick. Another one that I think got snubbed that's not in here at all, at least I didn't see. Nope. I really truly thought Nope deserved a couple nods on here, and it got shut out, which is kind of sad for me.
Yeah, I can't even say horror. It's more of a sci-fi movie than a horror. But this is a year when 2 big sci-fi names are in there, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
If there's gonna be if there's gonna be a Marvel movie in here, Doctor Strange had the best special effects of the 3. It did the most interesting things. It was much more visually engaging, and Wakanda Forever has one of the funniest looking bad shots of any movie. When the fish boy jumps off a ledge. And
Yeah.
It's called we have 3 movies and like 10 million TV shows, and we're spreading everyone thin. We just don't have time and money and manpower. Like, I get it. Also, that shot looked really bad. Basically, the whole movie looked fine until they started needing more special effects.
Do you think that?
But I'm not a special effects artist, so maybe I'm
none of us are visual effects artists. But do you think that one of the reasons Black Panther: Wakanda Forever got nominated was because of what they did or didn't do in the underwater city?
You know, it's funny you say that because for me, when a good chunk of the underwater stuff, I think I was talking with some friends that saw it at different places, and it wasn't as bad. But the theater that I saw it was dark, and it was really hard to see.
Yep. And everyone moved so slow.
Yeah, well, that's it. The people moving around, it was so weird.
It's kind of surprising that out of, like you were saying, out of everything, this got nominated because Doctor Strange seemed better. And to me, the VFX, at least, I guess the VFX isn't the lighting per se, but kind of.
To me,
lighting is part of it, isn't it?
It is definitely part of it.
To me, Wanda coming out of that, out of those puddles in Multiverse of Madness is better than anything that I can, because I can actually remember that. I can't exactly remember anything from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
One of those universes where he's spoilers, by the way, for all these movies.
Absolutely.
Turns into the paint.
When he's fighting himself, the note battle. Before that, the way it looks in there and the thing outside the window is actually pretty good looking.
It was very creative.
The movie is really bland, but some of those effects look actually pretty good.
It's sad because it had such good ideas and just. But we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Top Gun Maverick. Having not seen it, I can.
See, we're at an interesting point with visual effects where it's like I can't unless a movie screams, "Look at this to me." There's things in there that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot, half of Top Gun Maverick could be generated by a computer. I would never know.
I mean, the only reason I knew some of it is because they were giving out promos and they were showing things with them hanging on the side of planes.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that, you're right. How do you even know?
Well, yeah, and then there was that whole big article about Tom Cruise not being allowed to touch the controls in the cockpit of a Navy plane that they paid $11 million a day to rent.
That's just crazy to me. But there's, like I said, there's no competition here though, right? It's Avatar. It's probably gonna win this.
I would assume.
We don't have to make final calls here too because anything can happen in the next month or two.
That is
true.
But
that is probably what the favorite would be right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a pretty good character. All I'll say about All Quiet on the Western Front is the visual effects are not the star of it, but it is one of those things I'm happy that got nominated. It got a lot of nominations. I think it got 9, which I thought it was going to get 1 for international film, and seeing it recognized everywhere like that makes me very happy.
That's awesome. That's
it's great.
Really
it's a great movie. Moving on.
All right.
Next, we'll go right to left. We'll kind of go like this.
I like that.
Because picture's on the left side here, so next is best film editing. I have seen 4 of these. Well, we'll read them off in a second.
I've actually seen all of these.
Oh, you've seen everyone? Oh, good.
I've seen everyone.
I have seen
actually
10
one
minutes.
of them is sitting right there.
I've seen 10 minutes of Elvis, and I've seen obviously Everything Everywhere. But that's it for
Gotcha.
me.
So we've got The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick.
So for me, I love 4 out of these 5 movies. but I think the one that I don't love is the one that's gonna get
Yeah.
is probably the favorite.
Which one do you
Well,
think?
that's hard.
You think Elvis?
So Banshees, the Banshees of Inisherin
So
is very intentional in its editing, and it's so good. Everything Everywhere All at Once would be the one that I would say could contest Elvis. Tar is also fantastic in its timing, but it's not as varied as Elvis or Everything Everywhere. I don't know what to say about the editing of Top Gun.
So for me, really quick, I just want to get out of the way. Having not seen the majority of these and having seen Everything Everywhere, it's hard to say because I can't compare it as much. But I love the way that there's so much to juggle and to balance in Everything Everywhere, and I think that's where editing and directing is going to stand out. So so we're not even close to directing, but I hope this will win directing. And it's just because I love this movie. I really wanted this to win editing too, because like I said, it's so hard. Like they're jumping all over from different universes, different timelines. Like how do you sort through all of that footage and make a flowing and just a story that you can pay attention to?
The only kind of counter argument I would offer for Elvis, and I don't necessarily, again, I don't enjoy the movie a whole lot.
Bohemian Rhapsody, where
It's better than that.
Yeah, it does a really good job of making you. Would you say like making you feel like Elvis? Like everything's very fast and flashy, and like
And it hurts it in a lot of places.
I did notice that because
it feels like a 2-hour long trailer almost.
No. Music video.
Yeah.
It's a music video. It's a clip show.
Because I will say really quick, I don't know if I mentioned this on camera or not, but I tried watching Elvis. I watched about 10 minutes and I'm like, oh, this is not the time for this. I just could not get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into more to talk about like other things that are nominated, but the editing really bugs me, and not from, of course, none of this is we're not professionals. Just from someone who likes movies sitting there, it is giving me a headache. And compare that with Everything Everywhere, that goes a mile a minute as well.
Hold on.
I'm trying to figure out how to explain my feelings. What were you saying?
Everything Everywhere almost gave me a seizure.
Which is the point of that moment.
Yes.
Whereas Elvis, the point is that's like the craziest part of the movie. Elvis, the entire movie is like that.
I agree. And everything's spinning. I just
And
feel no everything.
Wanna bet?
It was.
That's the best line of the movie. When it's literally wanna bet and he spins the thing. It's like that is one of the stupidest puns I have ever seen in a movie.
I just think that they'll pick that.
Again, it's a very, very good category. It's a good year for movies, and it's nice to see.
It's good to
stack categories like these.
Let's. I want to talk about the editing in Banshees and Inisherin.
Go for it.
That's what we're here for.
I don't really know.
Remember, you
what
can't
to
say
say
specifics. That's the thing that hurts it because he isn't.
Yeah, because
this is the Banshees is probably going to be the next movie that I watch because I am.
That's HBO Max, right?
Dying to watch this.
That's where I watched it. It's a very slow movie.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but it is gripping, and the way it is put together almost builds more tension than what's actually happening, because what is actually happening is a little bit mundane. I mean, they're on an island that's isolated from
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it's about?
Yeah, just one of the friends just all of a sudden just wants to not be.
It's
friends.
A breakup movie, basically.
Yeah, and it's just because I know it's
a breakup
McDonough movie, and so right.
It's a breakup movie that feels like there will be blood.
That's so fast. Like, and I really love Martin McDonough. Like, Seven Psychopaths is one of my favorites. Like, I like.
He names the one I haven't seen. I was gonna make a comment.
Oh, really?
Because I've seen the other two.
So it's Seven Psychopaths.
In Bruges is great. It's those same two guys.
Yeah.
But it's more. It's a black comedy just like this, but it's much different of one.
Oh,
and then Three Billboards.
Yeah, he did Three Billboards. That's right. Yeah. So I've seen half of his movies.
Yeah,
so
he's
far.
also got one of my favorite sound bites from the Globes when he won. I can't remember if it was feature or screenplay for Three Billboards. He walks up to Mike and goes, ah! Like right before he talked. It's so funny.
Oh my god! Like I said, I like his movie. This is probably going to be the next one that I watch because I'm very excited for this.
It's not very long either. Like you'd expect a movie like that to be 2 hours, 20 minutes,
That's
2.5 hours. It's barely
About
even
two.
two, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. But it's a very slow burn.
It's
It's one of those, while you're watching, you like it. and when it ends, you like it. As you think about it, you like it even more.
I'll put it this way: it's been in my. I watched it probably Friday or Saturday. Saturday. Mm-hmm. It has been on my mind since I watched it.
Nice. Do you think that's gonna walk away with it?
No. He's saying Elvis.
No. I think Elvis is gonna walk away. It's either gonna, in my mind, it's either gonna be Elvis or Everything Everywhere. I want Everything Everywhere to win, and I am probably leaning more towards Elvis.
That's fair.
Okay. Moving on.
All right.
We've got Best Costume Design, in which I've seen 4 of these.
I have seen 2.
Costume design. 1, 2, 3.
3, all right. We have Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. The only one I haven't seen is Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Where I work, we were supposed to get it. I built a whole standee for it, and we didn't get it.
Wow. That's...
Yeah, it's basically Leslie Manville going to Paris to buy a really expensive dress because she's been like a housemaid her whole life. So she had saved up money to finally go or something like that. It looked pretty charming.
I remember seeing the trailer for that.
Yeah, so that's what that one is, and we've talked about a couple of the others. Black Panther, the first movie, won costume design, but I'm thinking, and here's another thing, like Elvis could, because Great Gatsby, also Baz Luhrmann won, I believe, won costume design that year. That was 2013. Mm-hmm. I feel like it did. So he's got, but then
I feel
Babylon is probably
because like that's like I mean, listen, if there's one thing Hollywood loves the most is Hollywood.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So like I could see them because Babylon hasn't gotten much other ones.
No, I thought it was going to get more than it did. It got 3.
I could easily see them wanting to give this something.
Yeah, there's a lot of costume, big scale, just a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, Black Panther, you have the many different, parts of tribes, and all that, and of course now the fish people that you can hardly see their costumes.
That's true. They really don't.
So the costumes are the wings on that dude's feet, right?
I was trying to think, like, so what are the costumes? Because like I know
they're wearing costumes still.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know why.
I mean, the dude's wearing a Speedo the entire movie.
Yeah. That's the thing about these Marvel movies. It's hard to tell sometimes, like, how much CG is touching this up.
That is true.
Because
like, costume design I want to give just to people that create the clothes that they wear.
Yeah, which, again, we can't tell sometimes. For those.
Can I tell you a snub for this category that I wanted to win?
What?
Or that I want at least to be nominated? Glass Onion.
For costume design?
Yes.
Okay. I can see that.
And I thought a very similar thing for their first Knives Out. Jenny Egan is the person who made those costumes, and she does and I think the best job is like they are who that person is, and it portrays that so well. And I thought Knives Out got nominated, but I was proven wrong that it's not. And I wanted Glass Onion again, but
I mean, it got nominated somewhere.
I know at least got its own nominations, but I wanted to get costume as well. But yeah, that's just my snub. I was kind of saying before that, I think Babylon is probably going to walk away.
Yeah.
I would probably like Elvis to win just because I think they did such a great job of replicating that and making his wardrobe a part of Austin Butler's character. But Babylon...
That makes sense, too. I could see that.
It's kind of between those two, isn't it?
Yeah.
Period pieces tend to...
You do make me wonder if the new Black Panther girl actually was wearing the Black Panther suit or if it was a green screen suit.
Probably green screen.
Probably.
I think it's just easier sometimes.
Yeah.
Just fix it in post, right?
Right.
Well, moving on. One of the best categories every year. Actually, this year it's not bad, but in the past, best makeup and hairstyling. Don't forget they've given Oscars to Suicide Squad. They've handed out nominations to Norbit and what is it? Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa.
Yeah.
Did Darkest Hours win for this as well?
I would
Darkest Hour, I think so.
Okay.
The way they
put a fat suit on Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a lot of time. There's only 3. I think in the last couple of years they've been filling it out. Mm-hmm. I wonder if some rule change happened. I don't know what it is, but we have 5. I have seen all of them.
I have seen 2.
I have seen 3.
Gotcha. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman,
Woo-woo.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale.
So what do you think weighs more? Period.
Oh no, Jake.
I have a bad way.
Jake,
of wording
no.
this.
Why did you start it like that?
I didn't even realize it.
Oh, that was clever. Where were you gonna?
What do you think? I can't think of another way to say it now. What do you think is more important to the Academy? A period piece with like real, makeup and all that. The Batman, which does have very good
They
makeup.
made Colin Farrell fat.
Yeah.
It actually did not look like him at all.
No.
So I'll give them that.
It
credit.
also didn't really look like Robert Pattinson a whole lot.
No, it did.
It
He just had a lot of emo kid makeup.
I
on.
was gonna
That's
say.
fair.
I
His black eyes.
like the Batman. Like, yes, they made the Penguin look great, but also they just put mascara on Robert Pattinson, and that's it. Like, it's like
Well, they do the eyeshadow because
Right.
a lot of the time in the suit it's like the eyes aren't like perfectly fit around his eyes too, so it doesn't look funny. Batman's always done that. They
And it
just had
makes
never
sense.
touched on that,
it
and I
makes
like how they
sense.
show that.
No, I like that too. I just think it's kind of goofy.
Yeah, and then you know what I'm just realizing? 3 of these movies just have fat suits on people. Because Elvis, Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
looks awful. I'm not trying to say that anyone's skills, but just like he looks so funny, and I don't think he's supposed to look funny.
That's fair.
Whereas the other 2 for those fat suits, like one, it's supposed to be a cartoon. Great, I did not mean cartoon. Comic book character.
Yeah.
And then the Whale is probably the one that might get it because of how they designed that.
Yeah.
We'll get to the Whale. I have things to say about it. Just I'm not a big fan.
The only thing I would counter with again is Elvis. I felt like, we always say Austin Butler was the best part of that movie. Well, I just feel like that the makeup and the way they've designed him went so far into creating that character that was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
And who knows, with his daughter passing recently, how that may affect.
That's true.
That's a very good point, Jake. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I forgot all about that.
I really do wonder if they're going to try to give a little bit of more of a nod for that. But it's hard because that's a good point, but I still, like, just the shots that I've seen of Brendan Fraser from The Whale, like, it just...
Oh no, I'm not taking away from that. That would be
Probably
when I
the
first
front
looked at
runner,
this. It would probably be my front runner. I'm just saying that I think the makeup in Elvis did. Having not seen The Whale, I can not really stay.
Yeah,
but
like I said, the only couple shots, like the only like the couple of posters.
for me, the makeup in Elvis went really far towards crafting the character. Crafting the character.
Makes sense.
Anything else on makeup and hairstyling?
That's all I got.
Alrighty. Next up is Dickey's favorite category. And how many have you seen in this category, Dickey?
0.
Jake, how many have you seen?
2. Nope. Yeah, 2.
Yep, and I have seen 3, I believe. Yep.
But
Best cinematography.
But this is the best part of why I love the Oscars, is because now I'm gonna want to watch all of these because every single cinematographer had to vote, had to put in the running with the ones they think are the best, and given that these are the 5 best, makes me want to go watch them because I watched.
The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. And the only ones I haven't seen are Empire of Light and Tar. And I was very, very happy with Bardo's nomination because, of course,
I've never even heard of that.
It's Inaritu.
Oh!
It's his movie. It's fairly divisive for people who watch it. A lot of people view it as excessively narcissistic.
Interesting.
Make Inaritu kind of saying thing because the main character is a film director in kind of a midlife existential crisis of like.
Okay.
And it is one of those like it's Inaritu's 8.5, but it's also like what I find interesting is he's going at it from an angle of, am I actually important? Because it's this whole like I've done all this, but I've strayed so far away from who I was when I started. Like I'm not the same person anymore. And I found that interesting. And it all started with him asking himself this question years ago, like, well, what do I look like now? Because the road from now to the end is a lot shorter than the road from when I started to now, like his life's journey. And I go, that's so interesting.
It's a really deep movie. Then it sounds like it's really,
or at least tries to, because I think there's people who be like, yeah, this feels like shallow, like surface level. But then I connected with it a lot.
Okay.
Beautiful looking. The camera movement is, I think, the star of the show. It's just I was so convinced it was gonna just kind of not get any recognition, and I was fine. It was like, yeah, it's kind of one of those movies that just you love it or you don't.
That makes sense.
But I saw it, I go, yeah, clearly Inarritu takes a lot of his inspiration from Emmanuel Lubezki. It's like that's his style now, and it's very a lot of Malick inspiration in that too.
Yeah, that makes
sense. Which
Malick
Malick has used Lubezki multiple times as well.
I mean, Lubezki is like top 5 greatest of all time. Like, it's not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, the man won 3 Oscars in a row.
Yeah.
For Gravity. It was Gravity, Birdman, and The Revenant.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 Inarritu movies.
The Revenant again.
That's good.
Yeah, we watched that together in theaters.
You know, I will.
Did we watch it with Dummy?
No, it was just me and you.
It was just you and me?
Remember, we were in like the first or second row because we got there late.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The movie hadn't started, but there were so many people in there because it was Christmas break.
Was that after they had put in recliner seats?
They were there. There was recliner seats, yep.
I will say, having not seen any of
yeah, what are you going to say?
I mean, is it too easy or too hard to go just to say Deakins? Like, Roger Deakins
I don't know.
was nominated for Empire Light.
I don't think it's the flashy. I think Elvis is one of the flashy standouts. Mm-hmm. And well, you've seen Tar. What about Tar?
I loved it.
Do you think that's has a good shot?
It does. It does.
It doesn't have many good shots.
It's very understated. It's not like, the whole movie it's a very slow and intentional film, and the cinematography reflects that. It's not bombastic like what I imagine All Quiet in the Western Front is, or definitely not like what Elvis is. I would like Tar to win.
Because
I've not seen enough of these movies to know, though.
It's interesting you say that, because I want there to be a time and place for the more subtle cinematography to win, because like oftentimes like everyone loves their super high contrasty, like super like flashy, super bombastic lighting sequences, like it looks like Blade Runner 2049 or Dune or something like that. And like while that's really cool and all, it's also very impressive when you can create a visually stunning movie where it's not a lot of bombastic images. Just
Banshees looks great.
I
was surprised that didn't. I feel like that would have been.
I mean, it got film editing.
I know. I'm just saying it looks really good.
But,
so
and then that's the thing. Like I just coming from like me who like I've like cinematography was like my focus when I went to Grand Valley and studied. Like I love that kind of stuff, and I want those to be like just. I want that to be more in the forefront than just these visually bombastic movies.
Yeah, I think step one is you should like watch one of these movies.
Yeah, I think that's enough for step one.
Notice that Wakanda Forever is not in this list.
Shocker! Wow.
None of the Marvel movies are.
Good.
Gasp.
Good. Listen.
Forsooth.
Marvel movies are good for a couple
Marvel
of things.
movies are fun sometimes.
They're
not lately. It's been a while.
They have their time and place.
The last fun Marvel thing was the
Spider-Man.
Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Oh, I've not seen it.
That was fun.
I still haven't seen that either. I really want to watch that.
Well, you know why it's fun? It's 40 minutes.
That's why.
It's because and Kevin Bacon's in it.
It's 2 hours shorter than all their other movies.
And it's only got Drax and Mantis in it.
Oh.
Not only,
perfect.
but...
Give me all the Dave Bautista. I love that dude.
I didn't realize his head looked
What
like
did
that.
you say? I love that. What?
I love that
Dude.
It sounded like good.
I said I had
That
like water in
dude.
my mouth. It's good. It's
That
good.
dude. That good dude. That hurt.
Well, Dickey, you should get on watching some of those. I'm curious to hear your reaction. And moving on.
Moving on, yeah.
Best production design.
This is gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, we got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans.
That is a hard category.
I was just thinking.
Wow.
So personally, I've
Also,
only
All
seen...
Quiet on the Western Front has been in like all but 2 of these
It's
so
getting
far.
a lot of the technical ones. Because it's literally been in almost everything.
Yeah, I mean, the recreation of the trenches, some of the places that the movie takes place, just yeah, it's
Did
really
they do
good.
it better than 1917?
That's difficult. I've seen one more recently, and one of them is a ticking time bomb movie. We're moving very quickly through it. With the other one, we sit in a lot of these places, and it's a much longer feeling movie. So we have more time to take it in because it functions differently.
That makes sense. I will raise a question to you. Is for Avatar: The Way of Water, that is a very tricky movie for me because how much is production design and how much is the visual effects?
I know.
artists?
I'm not sure.
Like I know it kind of goes hand in hand, but for me, production design is just
Like an actual set.
Yeah.
Is that the only one you've seen in the category?
It is.
And what about you, Jake? You've seen 2?
2, yeah.
Okay.
You've seen all of them.
For
this
one are the 2, I think.
For this one, I think again you lean on Hollywood loves Hollywood, and I don't think.
I mean,
Gun to my head, I'd have to say Elvis would win, and I know I say I don't like it, but as I look at these categories, like it fits the bill for these categories.
I know Babylon just from the trailers and what I've seen, it looks more like I keep using the word bombastic. It's like more like a lot going on, and I don't know about the
But Elvis too, like.
Well, yeah, and so but I was gonna also think about the Fabelmans is like I know because that's still a period piece, and the other very popular thing for production design is period pieces. So I could see them. I could also see them leaning towards Fabelmans for that specific reason.
Yeah, but again, I think Fabelmans is way more understated than
You'd think it is. You haven't seen it. You should see it.
I know. I really want to see it.
Like honestly, Fabelmans kind of feels like you could have just literally gone into that house and shot the whole movie there.
The movie makes you want to go out and make stuff.
Yeah,
it really does.
But like you said, Hollywood loves Hollywood. So
exactly. Having not seen many of these, my 2 personal front runners are probably going to be Babylon and Fabelmans.
I will tell you, Dickey, that Fabelmans is probably my favorite movie of last year.
Same.
I mean, that's all I hear is just absolutely rave reviews. It's just hard. I just don't just getting time to go to the movies it's kind of hard, but
yeah, it's another stack category. Problem is a lot of these have the same movies. So, of course, it's going to be like that. But it's like, man, there's no clear-cut winner in a lot of these because there are different reasons for different ones.
Watch All Quiet from the Western Front just come out of nowhere to win this one.
Just sweep through the technical.
I'm fine with that. I kind of want to watch it again. I will go get into it more when we get to the big one. But, yeah. Best Sound, which this is like the 3rd year, I think, now that they've combined it.
Yeah.
It used to be separated by Best Sound Editing and Best Sound Mixing, and then they combined them, I think, before the 2021 ceremony. I think that's how they did it. So now instead of 24 total categories, there are 23.
So, for me, for this one, well, sorry, go ahead. We're not.
Oh, yes. Our nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front,
once again,
Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick. Movies we've talked about each one of these movies already.
yeah. So really quick, I'll give my input. Having not seen many of these.
How many of these have you seen? 2?
Avatar and the Batman. Yeah.
Okay, and Jake?
3.
Okay, and I've seen all of them.
Yeah. So having not seen many of these, I know historically, for sound editing and sound mixing, those kind of stuff, war movies are really well
because they're loud. But
Batman
Top Gun is
loud too.
But also Top Gun is loud.
Well, that's what I was gonna. My 2 front runners. I can't think of one. Would be All Quiet and Top Gun.
So,
I think Top Gun.
You think Top Gun?
I'm thinking Top Gun.
I think if that wins one category, it's probably gonna be that.
It's like half of the impact of Top Gun comes from its visuals. The other half is the sound backing it up. That's what makes both of those movies. Mm-hmm. I mean, the difference being Maverick is a good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just the second that came out, I was like, yeah, this is probably winning sound. I'm not as good knowing what's a better sound or not. I've never been good at
To be fair,
mixing
it's subjective in that kind of way.
leveling.
So
The only thing that I would counter that with is that it seems like All Quiet on the Western Front would have more varied sounds that need to be balanced that you need to hear in order to
more than just planes.
move the story forward.
There are planes.
I'm sure there are, but I was just kind of being a little
I don't think that much though. But
smart ass over here.
actually, there might be
Definitely a
flight in all
smart-ass.
these.
What?
Yeah, was there a flying scene? Yeah, there's a flying scene in the Batman when he jumps off the tower, and
It's
Avatar.
funny,
There's
that's
flying.
the one shot of the Batman that I did not like.
Oh, the
Yes, that exact shot I did
Yeah.
not like. That.
All Quiet as a little bit. I mean, Elvis. The whole thing is flying.
But
So I don't even I don't know how to explain it. It's just I feel it's a Top Gun.
I think I'm there with you. Like I said, war movies are
Because I don't
popular
think Top
and
Gun is going to win any of the rest of these. So.
probably not.
How many categories do you think they give Oscars to just because they feel bad for having nominated them and not picked them?
I don't know. There are movies in Oscar history that have double-digit nominations and they don't win any.
Are you thinking of anything specific?
The Irishman, Gangs of New York,
Really?
American Hustle, True
Oh,
Grit.
American Hustle.
All of them had at least 10 nominations and didn't win a single one because they end up being strong enough to get them, but not strong enough in one area to win any.
And that's where it's still an impressive feat just to be nominated.
Yeah, it just sucks. It sucks that Scorsese has 2 movies in his career that got blanked with 10 plus nominations. I don't really not feel too bad because the man is exceptionally successful and talented and has won awards and made some of the greatest movies of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's doing just fine.
I think, yeah. Well, that's right.
No, he needs that.
Well, that's right.
That one sound editing.
Oh, that's where I like to say that it's like, it's very impressive. It's a feat to say that you're an Oscar winner, but it's not the end all be all. There's still many a great
It's
movie.
just nice to be nominated. So, moving on, the next category is Best Original Song. Now, if you noticed the edit, we had to actually listen to them. So we've got Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Natu Natu from RRR, and This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, movie-wise, I've seen 4 of them. The only one not being Tell It Like a Woman.
Movie-wise, I've seen Dose. I've seen 2.
3, I think.
And then, of course, we listened to
We did actually
all of
listen
them.
to
So, the first 3 that we listed,
it's so
I
funny. They all
don't
sounded.
the same.
They all sound very similar. They really did.
Applause sounded very what's a good
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, very nasally.
I still liked it. Like,
Of course,
You do like Hannah Montana.
I love Hannah Montana. How can Miley Cyrus is an absolute gem of a person? Like, of course I'm gonna love Hannah Montana. But
She's the one that ultimately got the Grand Valley Ball taken away.
kind of, kind of.
I'm okay blaming her.
Because of her song. But
yeah, the Lady Gaga one. She's a great fantastic singer.
Lady Gaga
I
is
just
one of
was.
the best
I
vocalists
personally
of all
was.
time.
Not, this is the thing about song is it is very very. It's all preference.
well, that's any of these.
Yeah, especially song because music is so much harder
It
when
is
it
hard.
comes to this. And I personally was not feeling the Top Gun song at all.
I'm kind of with you on that, where I can really appreciate Lady Gaga's vocals because she is just incredible.
So
But
that's the one that the only one that I could place within the movie and say that is definitely the Top Gun movie song.
it kind of sounds like it too. Having not even seen it, I
no.
just feel like it sounds like a Top Gun song.
Well, and that might be less of a strength than I'm making it sound like I think it is.
And that's true. Is that a strength or is that a weakness?
I don't know. Can I just talk about my bone I have to pick with this category?
Ooh, what's
Oh,
your
yes.
bone?
Where is the nomination for Ciao Papa?
From Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Where is it? That's all I can't what are these? Not two is the only memorable one.
Yeah, like the Everything Everywhere song. I love David Byrne.
Oh,
I
love
like
David
the sound
Byrne
of
so
that.
much.
That is not a song you usually see nominated. And that makes me think, that's such an interesting song to nominate because, everyone loves the Pinocchio songs. And there might be other ones out there that I'm free, but it's just such a weird...
I was not surprised. And it's a quick side story about David Byrne is because did you know that he recently popped up on the Miley Cyrus New Year's Eve show? Him and Miley and I don't remember who else they were doing some renditions of songs together it was so cool to see him live, and he's kind of coming back is a strong word to use, but he's making his face known at least a little bit more than it. I feel like
he had that filmed Broadway show that Spike Lee filmed that's on HBO Max, American Utopia. It's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he combines, because it's a stage performance, but it's choreographed where all their instruments are wireless, they have some of the percussion you see in a marching band, and then the guitars and the bass are wireless, and then there's all kinds of stuff. It's really cool. There's it's very sparse on stage. It's a lot of light stuff. Sometimes I can't remember if there's props, but it's a very cool experience. And if you're a Talking Heads fan like I am, then you'll recognize those. And then he sings some of his own songs, and they blend together perfectly. He does different versions of the Talking Heads songs too, with the instruments given, and it's a really good show. Cool. Seeing him pop up and stuff,
I want that to win. I do.
Yeah. He does have an Oscar already. He was part.
Really?
Yep. In the 80s, he did the music with a couple others for The Last Emperor, which won Best Picture that year. So that's his Oscar win. Which very, very good movie. Have you ever seen it?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I watched it once
in high school.
It was for a history class in college. I did not like it.
What'd you call it?
The Last Emperor.
Because I was bored and because I was having to. I think I watched it on a Friday night where I'd rather be out partying, and I was just like, okay, I gotta watch this. And so I was like, it was not the time and place to actually watch it.
Yeah, have you ever seen it?
It sounds familiar.
It's basically the last ruler in the Forbidden City in China before I can't remember who it was, the communists, I think. So it's basically looking at this guy's life being a child emperor, and then by the time he's in his 30s, he's a nobody, where he's inside the Forbidden City his entire life until they're just ousted. It's such an interesting movie, and I think it's the first time they allowed anyone to film in the Forbidden City.
That makes sense. I would give it a rewatch and under a lot better circumstances, and I'd probably actually enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
for this category, I could easily see RRR get it because it's the only thing it got nominated for, and it's very popular. I could also see the Black Panther song winning it.
Really?
He got a first. Well, because Sia, it wasn't Sia. Was it Sia that won the first Black? Who had the?
That was All the Stars.
Yeah,
I don't remember who sang it. It didn't win.
Okay.
Because that was Star Is Born won for that year. Shallow.
That makes
Shallow.
That was also Lady Gaga, was it not?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's her Oscar win.
Like I said, I want Everything Everywhere. I think Gaga's gonna win it again. She's just so. Everyone loves her. She's also a great actress too. That's another reason to just bump her a little bit higher up on the pedestal in my eyes. I mean, how do you not love Gaga? She's just great.
Yeah. Anything else about these songs?
I got nothing.
Moving on.
All
Best
right.
Original Score to stay musical.
Yeah.
We've got All Quiet on the Western Front. I should probably say I forgot to say all the composers in I believe it's Volker Bertelmann. I hope I said that right because the V is the W, I believe.
Right.
Babylon by Justin Hurwitz, who's previously won for La La Land.
Yeah.
The Banshees of Inisherin, Carter Burwell, Common Coen Brothers.
I did not know.
Guy.
She works with them.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once by How do you say that? Is it Son or Son Lux?
S-
I probably sound stupid right now.
Sonlux.
Yeah,
it could be Son
again.
Lux,
I have no
Sun
idea.
Lu,
I have no idea. They were also on the song, weren't they? With David Byrne, I thought I saw.
No,
They're not on here. I thought
the
I think the YouTube video that we looked up, the song might have had their name on there somewhere. And then John Williams for the Fabelmans.
Of course, my boy Johnny W.
Yeah, I have seen all of these.
It feels wrong for you to refer to him as Johnny W. It feels like you're referring to like a historical figure.
He is a historical figure, Jake. This is John Williams.
Then why are you referring to him as Johnny W?
He's the big JW. He's the big Williams dog.
I want John Williams to
give it
show
to
up to the ceremony with the biggest bling you ever saw.
I would love
And
that.
what are these grills that go in the
Yeah,
teeth? Man, do I sound super white right now.
Which you are.
Dog.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, you need to stop. Yeah, so having seen all these, I think Babylon has the best chance because that music is fantastic. They're all good, but that Babylon score is so good. The one thing that hinders it, though, like 10 or 20% of it is reused La La Land score. Like
is it really?
Not like he used it and trying to hide it. It's right there. It's like, oh, that's a nice little Easter egg. Oh, we're using another La La Land like song score in the background. It's a little weird, but a lot of the music in that movie is so good.
Well, interesting. A quick little nod to what we have going on later. La La Land is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yes.
If you end up watching
Fantastic
another show
movie.
we have, you'll
Should have
find
won
that
Best
out.
Picture.
But so like, given that I love La La Land that much and I love Damien Chazelle, I'm upset that I was not able to see this while I was in theaters because I'm guessing it's long gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
I would have
It bombed.
Yeah, well, I know because it got very polarizing reviews, but I'm a sucker for La La Land, so I have to give my heart to Justin Hurwitz because as much as I love JW, big old Johnny Williams.
Johnny W.
Johnny, oh my God.
That's just where my heart lays.
How many? So you, Dickey, you've seen one of those?
Yep.
And Jake, you've seen 3 of them?
You know, I gotta say, The Fabelmans, I remember really loving that score, but I can't remember it. And, you know, like I say, the Banshee of Inisherin, it's been on my mind since Saturday. I want to pick that one. I'm going to pick that one. I also like Carter Burwell.
He's been around a while.
That is fair. I feel like I've not heard his name. I didn't know he worked with the Coens a lot. That's.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get any other nominations and wins for working
Didn't
with
he
them?
get nominated for True Grit?
Oh, is that one of the 10 ones that
He's
nobody
been
won?
nominated for Carol, 3 Billboards, and Banshees, and that's it.
Okay.
Good for him.
But he's done the Coen movies. He's done are Blood Simple, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink. I have to look through Hudsucker Proxy, Fargo. Oh man, he got a lot of work. Big Lebowski. Man Who Wasn't There. Like I could keep going. No Country.
Okay.
The 10 seconds of music it has. Basically most of what they do.
Did he do True Grit? I'm pretty sure.
I feel
Probably.
that I think he's worked with. I feel like T-Bone Burnett has worked with him with Coen Brothers stuff before. Yep, True Grit. Yeah, just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool to see him win something too.
Yeah, I'm leaning on Babylon for that one.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's probably fair.
I love my boy Jay
Yeah.
Hurwitz.
Okay, moving on. Skipping, of course, as we said, skipping the short films and doc feature.
I'm going to point randomly at one, and that's My Year with Dicks. That's what's going to win.
Yeah, more like my 2 years with Dickey on this podcast.
And then The Red Suitcase is going to win Best Live Action Short Film. And then The Elephant Whisperers is going to win. And then I'm going to randomly pick one here. Fire of Love.
All right, we'll see if that holds up. Everyone, we have documented proof of the picks that you gave, so
Yeah.
we'll see if those actually hold up.
Yeah.
Next category is probably not going to be a lot talked about it because out of the 3 of us, one of us has seen one. It's Best International Feature. And as funny as it is, because we're dumb Americans and we don't watch anything that's not in English, cliche, which we do here, but, well...
I do.
Yeah.
When we make you.
Listen,
All I'm going to say is...
You'd just rather have... It's okay. You'd rather have it be a miniseries.
I said that once almost a year ago.
And we will never let you forget it.
I still love when people say, it's too long. I'd rather it been a show. It's like...
Shows are longer.
I know. It's like, I get you mean you can watch it in smaller pieces, but you're spending more time on it over a longer span of time. Like, it's dumb to say that. Anyway, Best International Feature Film. We have All Quiet on the Western Front from Germany. We have Argentina 1985 from Argentina.
Brazil.
Close from Belgium. EO from Poland. And The Quiet Girl from Ireland. I have only seen All Quiet on the Western Front. I almost watched Argentina 1985 the other day, and my internet stopped working, so instead I watched something else. I just remember I was going to watch it because I heard really good things, and then... couldn't connect to the internet because it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't know anything about Close or The Quiet Girl, but EO is about a donkey.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear it's very good. It's very good. It's not asinine. I really muled over that one.
Oh, don't be such a jackass.
I'm just trying to burrow myself out. Anyway, so the only thing I really could say is I hear Argentina 1985 has a lot of really, really, really good buzz. The only one I've seen is All Quiet, and I'll talk more about All Quiet when we get to its big nomination, but it is as good as people say, and it kind of just... Netflix has this problem of they'll promote some of the biggest things for them, but then some other things that are really good, just they kind of promote for a second, it comes out, and then they never mention it again.
They don't know how to promote things.
No, they're really... They did it with a bunch of their animated movies this past year, because, like, Pinocchio was the big one. Mm-hmm. But then you had a new cartoon Saloon movie come out that just no one even heard of. All of a sudden, I look one day, oh, new cartoon Saloon's on Netflix. I go, oh. And then, like, they had another, The Sea Beast, which is coming up. Yeah. Like they did. And then you watch them, and then you never hear about them again. And it's a shame. Yeah. Do you remember Over the Moon?
No.
It is a 2020 Best Animated Feature nominee. It's a Netflix release. Nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, Netflix has some good stuff, but they stink at promoting. But I will say, given that All Quiet is also nominated for Best...
It's probably...
I don't think there's any chance this
The rule of thumb is if a movie that's nominated in the international film category is also up for Best Picture, it's probably going to win international film pretty easily. Yeah. One surprising omission is Triangle of Sadness, because in other awards I think it's up for that. It won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, and I've heard it's disgusting, and I'm excited. Ooh, but I wonder if, because it is in English... and there are some American and British actors in it. Woody Harrelson's in it.
Oh.
Like, I wonder if because it's in English, it somehow wasn't eligible. I don't know how it works. I could probably look it up in a second. Mm-hmm. But when I saw that it had some nominations and wasn't in Best International Film, even though its director is from, give me a second, Sweden.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was an American production. I think if it's an American co-production, it might not be eligible.
That makes sense.
I think Letters from Iwo Jima was the same, the Clint Eastwood movie, because even though it's in Japanese and it was a collaboration, I think because it's an American release, or mostly, there's some rules on that. Because this used to be foreign film or foreign language film, and they changed it to international film not long ago. So there's so many rules on the eligibility of all these things.
That makes sense.
Especially in the days of streaming. It's like, you still got to have the premiere outside of the 2021 ceremony, because 2020 not a lot came out, and they extended there's all kinds of asterisks next to that. But
I will say I am a little surprised RRR was not nominated.
That's the other big omission.
Yeah, I really I haven't seen it, but the hype behind it is real. I am shocked.
Yeah, incredibly popular in India, and then broke through in other countries. Like, so many people were talking about.
It was it was hype beyond belief. Like,
and it has another nomination.
Yeah,
that's why I'm surprised, and I'm actually pretty sad, because it's so good. It's probably my third or fourth favorite movie of 2022.
Yeah, I'm shocked it's not on here.
Yeah, Anything else on international?
Well, that's my 2 bits.
Gotcha. Next is a category that we hold near and dear to our hearts because we
do.
talk about a lot of animation on our podcast. So, best animated feature film. We've got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That's Netflix. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. That's A24. Puss in Boots: The Last Witch.
Whoop, whoop.
DreamWorks, which we've covered.
Yes, we have.
The Sea Beast, Netflix, which I watched last night without knowing it was going to get nominated.
That's so funny.
And Turning Red, which is Pixar.
Whoop whoop.
Which is the worst movie in that bunch.
Having not seen Marcel, the new Pinocchio, or the Sea Beast.
So more than half the category.
But I've only seen Puss in Boots and Turning Red. And personally, I do like Turning Red more than Puss in Boots. But it's...
Okay.
More than Puss in Boots.
I think I do.
It's not anywhere near as good.
I don't want to question his logic here.
It hit me more emotionally than Puss in Boots did. I appreciate the style from Puss in Boots. I appreciate the direction from Puss in Boots. But I think overall I felt more emotionally impacted having watched Turning Red than Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I have seen all 5 of these as of last night because I thought Bad Guys was going to get nominated because it is better than just about all of these. But nope. Jake, how many have you seen?
Let's see. 1, 2, 2.
2, and then you've seen Dickey 3 or 2? What'd you say, 2?
And Puss in Boots.
That's right. Gotcha. So I think Pinocchio is the front runner.
I absolutely. Yeah.
And then Marcel is fantastic.
I know.
It's weird because it's live action with stop motion used a lot. So I don't know how it's eligible because in 2015, for the year 2014, the Lego Movie was disqualified because there's too much live action.
Really?
Yes, it did not get nominated.
That's
it was
so
nominated for song,
interesting.
but not animated feature. And there's a whole thing about there could have been a development in the last almost decade, but there were some rules on like how much live action you can have because at a certain point you could get nominated when most of the movies not like, you know what I'm saying? So
that's so interesting.
I wonder how it was eligible.
I was also thinking that a very similar thing because I know it was stop motion. Like how does?
But it's really good.
I know. It's one of the ones that that was so high up on my radar. I wanted to see so bad, and it came and went before I could get out to go see it. And I was very, very sad that I missed that one.
Yeah, Pinocchio is good. I think Jake and I share the same sentiment of it takes about till the middle of the movie for us personally to latch onto it. I think I really like how it opens. I'm not going to say specific because of the emotional weight of the beginning. And then I think because I'm spending my time, because it's a first watch, wondering where the story's going, because I've seen the story a million times in different ways. Right. Where's this one going to go? So by the second half, when I start to lay back and enjoy it more, I wondered if I watch it again someday, will this flow a lot better because I'm not wondering where it's going. So that's what I wonder. But it looks great. The music is really good, and the song's really good. We talked about that.
Everything that I see, all the stills, all the promotional stuff for it, it just looks bonkers amazing.
The only thing with that, I think, is the kid that plays Pinocchio kind of grated on me after a while. Like
I thought he was
the
fine.
sound of his voice.
Nothing compared to that Jungle Book kid.
Listen,
because he's yelling. Half of it is yelling. Yeah, it's hard. You still do it.
Are you telling me like you as a child could give a good performance in front of nothing but green around you?
No, because I'm not an actor. There are good child actors.
Yeah, but acting look at Star Wars. That's what I look at them trying to act in front of nothing but green. That's hard to do. I don't blame him.
But they're not annoying. It's you lied to me for half the movie. Shut up, please.
I don't know. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but that's
sure. Yeah.
You know something crazy?
What?
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. You can only buy one place physically.
Oh.
In the A24 shop.
That makes sense.
I mean,
upsetting.
If there were people I would give my money to, A24 is one of them.
I think there were a bunch of shorts from last decade that this is based on, and this is basically remaking a bunch of the shorts and actually making it more of a documentary than it previously was. And I think the movie is a bit too long for my preference. I think it hits a good sweet spot and then keeps going. And I was like, okay, I kind of had my ending, but then the last shot I really like, and by the end I was like, that was really good. It's really good.
Yeah, everything is just it's heartwarming. It's joyful. It's
sad too at times.
It's
adorable
charming.
Little character. Adorable. I think Jenny Slate voices the and that it's an because Jenny Slate and the director Dean Fleischer-Camp were married. When they created the character, and then they have divorced since, and very civil from what I hear. So when there are parts, because Dean is in the movie as himself because he's making the movie.
That's funny.
And because he's like he's recently divorced and he's in an Airbnb, and that's where he finds Marcel. So when there are lines about how he's dealing with this that aren't like bad, it's just like pretty deep, and it's an extra dimension when the person he's talking to, this little shell is voiced by his now ex-wife. So
that's a really interesting layer.
So yeah, so I hope you both would check it out. It's really good.
Is it anywhere streaming? Probably rent it. I'm guessing.
Probably. I could look it up in a second.
Yeah,
but
I bet you probably have to rent it.
Yeah. Puss in Boots we've already talked about.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll drop it right here. Hey, go check out our Puss in Boots episode of That Works!
We did a great job on that one.
Yeah, we talked for like 50 minutes on it. I don't think we need to talk about it much here other than visually great.
Oh, yeah.
Deserves to be here.
Stunning.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unlike its predecessor.
Yeah, which was also nominated.
I know.
And yeah.
The Sea Beast, I have nothing to say.
All I'll say is it is the Sea Beast now is the most used predictable story you can get, but because it's not done annoying or lazy, it's like it actually feels like they care about it. I had a good time. I don't think it's great, and I think
you'd probably replace
it's
that
not
with the bad guys.
Yeah, or Turning Red. Turning Red is a thing where I think Turning Red is probably better than Sea Beast, but because I'm so annoyed by parts of Turning Red that I don't want to say it.
Oh, right, because you haven't seen
I
it.
have chosen not to watch it until we watch it for our Pixar watch through.
Shamlets! Yeah, so we'll be getting to that in a number of weeks.
Yes, we will. I love Turning Red. I can't wait to rewatch it. Like I said before previously, it struck my heartstrings. It made me really sappy and really happy and sad and feel all the things. Yeah. It did a good job with that.
I would have to agree with you that Pinocchio is probably my pick here.
It's definitely the front runner.
Of the, what did you say, 4 or 5 animated crickets we've gotten in 2022?
Well, I'm not sure, but we got...
The best animated cricket is the one in Puss in Boots. Okay?
Yes.
That is the best. The line...
Oh,
I will say, I said it in my review of this, I'll say it again. When the cricket says, "Oh, you have no value for a human life," that sent me. That cricket is the best.
Ewan McGregor is a very close second.
He's the cricket in Del Toro's. Yep.
He's better.
He's better
than Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the bad one.
The Disney Zemeckis one.
And the one that got nominated for all the Razzies.
And you know how much I love me a Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Dong.
Johnson.
Well, we've gotten through, I wouldn't call them the smaller categories, but now we are getting to big categories, which would be acting, writing, directing, and picture. We'll get to.
Yeah.
So we're getting into the 2 writing categories. Best adapted screenplay, which of course is a screenplay based on a previously existing property, work, whatnot.
You have to say that because of the technicality that we're going to be coming up here in a second.
Yeah, so we've got All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking.
I have a question.
Yes.
Top Gun Maverick, do you really think that deserves a
No.
screenplay? Okay.
It's very simple writing, and I'm not saying that as...
I think we're going to count that one under it got nominated because it definitely had a cultural impact.
And we have 10 slots to fill over 2 categories, so we got to put something there.
Because listen, I for Top Gun, having not seen it, I can see it getting directing. I can see it getting VFX. I can see it getting. I thought it could have gotten cinematography as well. But
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't.
So how could you see
I
it?
know,
If you haven't even seen
this
it.
is all just my opinion, having not even seen it. But so take it with a very large grain of salt.
I would not give it this award.
That's fair.
It's one thing, and when I say simple, I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean the screenplay is not the star of the show. The screenplay is there, to make us empathize with characters and have arcs, which are two things we don't have in the first movie.
I knew where I was going there. I was going to say.
Because Tom Cruise in the first movie is a piece of garbage
Yes, he is.
who gets everything he wants, basically, except,
And participate-
spoiler, winning Top Gun. Loser.
And participate in a competition that we have no idea what the rules are for and no idea what the point system is.
He's just a jerk the whole time. It's like, why are we rooting for him?
Because he's Tom.
And then in
Cruise.
this movie, they make him a character with an arc. It's nothing spectacular, but it works. And I think that's why it's like, this isn't bad, simple. It's just, that's not what the focus of the movie is. But they do, when they call back to the first movie, it's like, it actually worked. Like when there's a scene where, at the beginning, where John Hamm, who's in it, says to him about, I'm just like you, I was Top Gun 80, and Tom's like, well, actually, I didn't win. I came in second. And I chuckled. I go, okay, that's a nice little nod to, he actually didn't win Top Gun in the first one. How they measure all this competition, I have no idea. But as Jake just said, but here we are.
So annoying. So paper thin.
Yeah. Now and then, we'll get to Glass Onion in a second. All Quiet on the Western Front is adapted from the book, and this. I could push this to the picture discussion of it, but I will. I guess it makes more sense here. They take some things out of the book, and these aren't spoiler things. These are things more in the middle of the movie that I'm trying to dance around too many specifics. There is a point in the book. The main character is Paul, where Paul goes home. I think he has leave. He's either injured or he sees his family at home. And the whole point of the section is it's so vastly different from the front. He starts to miss the front. He hates the front. It's miserable, but he misses it because all his buddies are there. And he goes back. He's on leave. He's not gone. He's not out of the army, so he goes back. And this happens. I think I haven't read the book, but I've seen the 1930 Best Picture winner and the 1979 TV movie. And in both those versions, I believe he goes home. And I think the 79 one went into it a little more, where he misses it. And then that's basically the start of the third act, where there's not much after because we're getting near the end of the war. And it's such an interesting perspective that, of course, I don't have.
Right, yeah.
And it's such a great juxtaposition. And this version does not have that at all.
Interesting.
And it is kind of a what they should add type conversation. And the movie is good without it. I feel like with the resources at their disposal, they could have made this really interesting.
Interesting.
By not doing it, it's not a sin of the movie. But it's like, man, I feel like that would have been so good. That's such a big moment in the other ones.
I did not know that.
And the other thing is, the other two versions spend a lot of time showing the training, which of course we've seen before. But it's a big part of it because the German youth are led to believe that they're doing this for, like, this is this big glorious thing for Germany, and war, you'll come back a war hero. And when you get there, it's nothing like you thought it'd be. And that's such a big part of the source material and the two other movies. And in this one, they don't really do that. If anything, this one's at the front more than the other two are, despite the other two being like 80% at the front.
Okay.
So that was one thing where I felt it's not a criticism. It's I really think that should be in there. But they still have good moments in this one that deal with that. And the portrayal of the front, it's all fantastic.
Oh, I'm sure it's absolutely mind-blowing.
So that's my whole spiel about All Quiet on the Western Front. There are parts of it that they omit or gloss over that I feel could have been really interesting, but what we got is still great.
Hold that against it in
I don't
cases
know.
Like this?
I'd have to. I haven't seen the other two versions in probably over a decade. But again, my biggest takeaways, other than spoiler stuff I don't want to spoil for you guys, are those parts. And they're not in here. So on one hand, it's like we're missing these things that could be really interesting. But on the other hand, we're not directly adapting the same thing for the however many times. So it's like, So it's a different movie than the other two, and I like that for it.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I will say the one that I have seen, I want to win because I love
Glass
Ryan
Onion?
Johnson, and I really want Glass Onion.
I really don't know what's gonna win.
I've never even heard of Living. I really don't have much to say about.
Oh, I just noticed that it's a remake of Ikiru from Kurosawa's movie Ikiru, where I saw it years ago.
That one.
It's the big picture, the big shot from it is the guy, is the main character sitting on the swing.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's in Ikiru, it's he's a bureaucrat and he's looking for meaning in life because he's terminally ill. Oh. And I think Living is Bill Nye, not that Bill Nye, the British actor.
Bill Nye.
It's Nye, I think.
Oh, is it really?
I think I looked it up and it's Nye.
Oh, okay. I know who that obviously.
But with I wanted to say Nye as well. But I believe he's like, I'm looking at it. I gotta click on it now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Did it give me enough? Okay, he's still a bureaucrat. So, yeah, it's that kind of looking for meaning. I remember hearing about it and nothing else. And he is also up for an award. We'll get to him in a second. We don't have much to say because we haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what Living is.
Okay, and then the other one that I'm looking
Women
at.
Talking.
Yeah, it's Women
Sarah
Talking.
Polley, which Canadian actress. I've seen her in a couple things when she was a teen actor to start, and then she's gone into writing and directing. I don't know much about Women Talking other than it's a colony, isn't it? Oh, it's in Bolivia. It's based on real life events.
Interesting.
Got a decent cast. I'm interested to see it.
Yes, it has a hell of a cast.
It
Rooney
looks
Mara,
interesting.
Claire Foy, Frances McDormand, Ben Winshaw. This is a. Huh.
Yeah, of course I have to watch it because I watch all Best Picture nominees, but yeah, that's
nominated
the
for
one.
Best Picture as well.
Yeah. We'll get to it, but
right.
A lot of times, a lot of the Best Picture ones are nominated in the screenwriting category.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely makes sense. But yeah. Personally, I adore Glass Onion. It's one of my favorite movies of 2022, probably.
Yeah, we've talked about it before where I think you like Knives Out better than Glass Onion. I like Glass Onion better.
And actually, I really like Knives Out. I like it so much. It's one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. And in case you want to watch a discussion,
there we go again.
Come on, I might as well throw out. We just published it.
It's fair.
Or no?
No.
No.
Oh right, no, it's coming out.
He's talking about something that we're working on that won't show for quite a while.
But it's a deep tease.
I didn't think about that the first time he said it. He said it twice in this.
Deep tease.
It's a deep.
We're
so
teasing far away.
We're teasing for like a year ahead. Check out our new.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
I didn't even think about it.
I know. I just got so excited.
So I don't know what wins this for sure. I feel like All Quiet has a good shot, but I also feel like Watch Women Talking pull a coda and weeks leading up to the ceremony just be a favorite.
So I'm trying to remember what else has to come. We're still waiting on the
BAFTAs.
producers.
I think
the
producers.
and the DGA.
I think the Writers, Producers, and Directors Guild Awards all happen, and the BAFTAs are somewhere in there. They might be like the week before. I can't remember when they are.
Because right now, I mean, the other ones, it's going to more go for the acting.
Yeah, because Critics' Choice just happened, right?
Critics just came out, and the SAG Awards came out.
yeah.
So that's for acting. That's why I have some of those in my mind. But for writing, who knows? You're right. We haven't seen any of the other awards for those.
Yeah, and I think this category has two in there for sure that none of us have seen, so it's hard to get a good.
Very curious to see what's going to end up with that.
Yeah. Original screenplay: The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness.
This is a tight one.
I have seen everything except Triangle of Sadness.
I have seen 3 of them. The last 2 I have not seen.
Unfortunately, I've only seen 1.
This is hard.
I
love all of these movies except for Triangle of Sadness because I haven't seen it.
I think a lot of signs from other awards are pointing to Banshees.
That's kind of what I am.
And
that's the buzz.
A lot of people that have that know more about McDonough's playwriting career can say you can really see his strengths as a playwright in the movie, which, I mean, we can see it with, I've never read any of his plays. I don't know if you have, so, but it feels like a play. It feels like a stage drama. And
it's phenomenal. Like, the very idea that someone wouldn't like this movie is foreign to me.
I know people who don't like it because they went into it not knowing what it was, and then they were bored to death because they don't watch movies like that.
But I didn't really know what it was. You wouldn't really tell me what it was.
You don't watch movies like that. They watch movies as entertainment fodder to throw into the background.
Which sometimes movies are, and sometimes they're not.
That's fine.
It's
just they go into this, and I remember thinking, like, they're not going to like this. I know they're not going to like this. They come out, yeah, it's boring. I go, yeah, because you're waiting for events, and it's not that kind of movie.
If you go into it knowing what to expect, then.
I mean, there is a couple of there's 5 events to be certain.
I'm realistically, I feel like I'm watching this movie this weekend. I'm definitely gonna.
So I think that's the one I want to win, but we haven't really talked about it yet. Tar is, again, so fantastically understated, and it just says, I think, a lot about the culture that we live in right now.
I mean,
and it is fascinating.
Kate Blanchett's gonna win for it. Like,
I don't know.
That's all
we'll get to that.
I know that's just not right now.
It's so engaging because it's so. There's so much, like, Tar. Okay, I love The Fabelmans. Is one of probably my favorite movie of 2022. I love Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, that's my favorite.
But the two that I think the most about are Banshees of Inisherin and Tar, because they actually gave me something to think about.
I don't know. Everything Everywhere. That is, I relate that, and I guess it's kind of off topic, kind of not. I relate Everything Everywhere to Bo Burnham's special Inside, where it's very introspective, and it's very just like kind of what you said Tar was, like very like of the times. It's very important to like today's society, and that's why I think Everything Everywhere. Like, I think that is edges it out. And again, I haven't even seen anything else, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. But I loved it. Every choice that Daniels made for that movie, I think, was perfect. And so for me, I want Everything to win.
I don't blame you for that. It's fantastic. Like, there's no.
It's a pretty stacked
I assume Triangle of Sadness isn't bad.
I mean, if it's nominated for a rating,
But all of these deserve to win. But like you say, again, Hollywood loves Hollywood. It might just be The Fabelmans.
I know, that's the thing. It's like and it's Spielberg.
For how personal of a movie it is for him too.
And what could potentially be his last.
There's no way in hell. There's no way.
He's like 75 or something like that, right?
I know, but I feel like
he's
just
like 72 or something.
Like the man's probably gonna die on a film set. Like
he was born on a film set.
Are you looking that up?
I am.
Like, it just
wasn't he born in like 19? Wow, what is it? Like
so
46 or 40?
Yeah, 46. Hey, so what is that? What does that equal? Not 72.
76?
Yes. By Price is Right rules, I win.
I never understood how that game works. Why don't you just go on like any other game show?
Especially since it's literally his best
movie in a
since
while.
Lincoln.
Oh, see, it's like I'm trying to think of like
right?
his last couple movies. And
it might be his best since Saving Private Ryan. Even I think it's better. Lincoln. It's better than Lincoln.
I'll be honest. I wasn't a massive fan of Lincoln, so I would.
I like it a lot. A lot of people aren't big fans. Yeah, Jake and I like it a lot.
It didn't really do it for me. I'm trying to look at his.
That's hard to imagine. 1998 though.
Wow, he has not had a good couple of years, Spielberg.
What, you don't like the BFG?
Ready Player One?
The big bleeping giant? Is that what it is?
You don't like West Side?
I never heard that, but that's funny.
You don't like West Side Story?
I was iffy on West Side Story, honestly.
Or The Terminal?
I love The Terminal.
I actually have not seen
So maybe it's his best since The Terminal?
The Terminal is fun. I don't know if it's good. It's a bit sloppy in how it comes together, but I would be lying if that super mushy sentimentality in the last like 20 minutes doesn't just make me get all teary-eyed.
It's hard. What's this Spielberg sentimentality?
Is
it
it-
works so well.
Is it similar to at all similar to that other movie you like
That other movie I like,
with Bill Murray and
Lost in Translation.
yes.
They are nothing alike.
Okay. I've never seen either actually. So
The Terminal.
I haven't seen
The Terminal.
either, so I have no
I like survival movies, and it is a survival movie. He has to live in an airport.
Oh, that's interesting.
You've never seen The Terminal?
No, I told you.
Do you know what it's about, other than what I just said?
No clue what it's about. No.
He comes from a fictional, not to go off into this road. Tom Hanks is from a fictional Eastern European country. When he lands at JFK, his country goes into civil war. He has no visa, so he can't get into the U.S. But because he's a refugee, he can't go back. He is stuck there.
That's such an interesting concept.
And Stanley Tucci is the guy, like
Oh
the
my
security guy trying to
God.
get him to leave, like go outside so they can arrest him.
Stanley
The
Tucci's
Tooch
in
is
it.
loose, as people say.
Oh,
I'm sold. I'm sold.
I'm so into it.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is like
Oh
this
my God.
flight attendant love interest to his. What is his name? What's the guy from Andor? Is it Diego Luna?
Yeah.
He's in it too.
What?
Yep.
Holy crap! I gotta watch this.
It's so much fun.
Oh my god.
Can I take another side note?
Oh my god.
Indiana Jones and what I think is the stupidest name yet, The Dial of Destiny.
I know.
It's
I
too
know.
much alliteration. I don't know
More
why.
like the vial of urine.
Because, he has to pee into a bag because he's so old.
Yeah.
But listen, it's directed by James Mangold, so I'm interested.
Yeah. I'll watch it still.
Absolutely.
We'll just see how 10-year-old Harrison Ford can move.
80-10.
He's old.
He is old. I can't believe he was making another one. But anyway, that's a side note.
Yeah.
As long as... We'll just wait to see if there are swinging monkeys in this one.
Oh god.
So we get into
On that note,
the acting category.
here we go.
Best Supporting Actress. We have Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hong Chau for The Whale, Carrie Condon, I think that's how you say that, The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Sue for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have seen all 5 of these.
I have seen 2 of these, but 3 actresses.
3 out of the and then Jake.
I've seen everything but The Whale.
Gotcha. Yeah,
This is I know right now with the Critics' Choice and the SAG that Angela Bassett is.
she's
leading
been
the
winning
charge.
things, and it's sad
And she
because
was great in it. She was.
I feel like she has. I should have probably looked it up before. I feel like she has much more deserving performances of her career to
Probably.
get nominated for, and she gets nominated for a comic book movie.
She
It's
was,
just funny. It's like, really?
'cause
She
I-
won the Globe, so I'm hoping she doesn't win because I'd rather she win for something else.
Well, and that's the thing is like she was probably. I'm trying to scroll through. I don't see any of her movies right now, but she was probably the best part of Black Panther, in my opinion. The scene where she was.
In the water with the...
Yeah, I was
Or the one where she is given the initial speech.
That's the scene I was thinking. I'm trying to remember who she was talking to. I don't remember who she was, or she was just. Giving
Oh, I forgot about that.
giving a speech out in general, but
What?
Oh, she did get nominated 30 years ago for What's Love Got to Do with It? Is that the Tina Turner movie?
it was, she.
Yep.
It's so hard, 'cause
Which is
she
probably
was
a
great
much
in
better
Black
movie
Panther,
than this.
But Jamie Lee and Stephanie Sue are just.
Yeah. But you also have to watch Banshees of Inisherin
I
because
know,
Carrie
I
Condon. I hope I'm saying that right.
I'm-
She's really good in it. She plays Colin Farrell's sister. In the
I really
movie.
want
Okay.
Carrie Condon to win.
Yeah,
I
she's
really want her to win.
She's also very good in Better Call Saul.
Oh,
She's a
she's
very
in Saul?
small part of it,
Okay.
but she's good.
I'm kind of surprised Jamie Lee Curtis got nominated for that.
She
It just seemed
great.
she was, but it just seems like more of a supporting actress.
This is for
This
supporting.
is for
Oh,
supporting.
sorry, my brain. It's right below Best Actress.
Oh, that's good, Jake. That's good.
Oh man.
So that is the tricky thing about the supporting actress is because they got 2 nominees from.
It can do this thing because there are times where there are multiple nominations and one of them wins. But I feel like a lot of times when you have multiple, yeah. A good example of multiple and they still won is Godfather Part 2. De Niro won, and you had Lee Strasberg and Michael Gazzo also nominated. So in that case, it didn't matter. Yeah. But then the first movie had, I believe it was Duvall, Pacino, and there were more, I thought. Oh, and James Caan all get nominated.
Okay.
And they lost to Joel Grey for Cabaret.
Oh, interesting.
Which I don't like Cabaret.
I've never seen it. The only version of Cabaret I've ever seen is one that they put on in Schitt's Creek, which is phenomenal.
But for this category, and then there's Hong Chow for The Whale.
I don't have. Yeah,
they are fine.
The Whale. I can't really
Just
have much to say about.
The thing I'll say about The Whale for now, I'll speak more in a couple categories, but there's a lot of things I don't like about it, despite initially liking it when it ended. Hong Chow is fine. Most of the cast is whatever, except for Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser is a standout, obviously.
So that's what I'll say. Like, nothing stands out to me. It's just me, you know. But I just remember thinking, like, yeah, they're fine.
That's fair.
I'm fine with them getting nominated, I suppose.
It's just like it is what it is kind of thing. That makes sense. Any of you have a favorite too?
Bassett right now is the front runner. I would rather it be Carrie or either of the Everything Everywhere actresses. So, yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, supporting actor.
All right, let's move on.
We've got Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin. Yes, we looked up how to pronounce that, and I forgot to look up how to pronounce the next one.
It's K. Hui, I think. K. Hui Wan.
Quan.
K. Hui.
Okay, there we go. Yes, I forgot to look that one up, but I looked up Keoghan. It's Key or K? What do we say?
Keoghan.
Barry Keoghan.
Yes.
Little Weird Irish boy. There we go.
Little Weird.
Yeah. So.
I mean, this is another reason why I still need to see Banshees of Inisherin so badly. Because Barry and Brendan, like, this race is going to be tight. Because K-Way is currently leading.
I think he's going to run away. He's leading everyone in
especially
any
after that speech he gave to Spielberg at with the Globes.
The Globes might be garbage, but when it has moments like that, that's when it's all worth it.
My heart was full when I saw. I'm like, I love this man.
Apparently,
and then you see Spielberg give him 2 thumbs.
I did. I know. I'm like, oh.
You're like, oh.
Apparently, Spielberg has followed him his whole career.
Really?
After that, I think he sends him Christmas presents every year or something.
That's amazing.
I thought I heard something like that.
I really hope that's accurate. I love that so much. Oh, this man deserves
everything everywhere all at once. I think what makes his performance very easy to be the favorite is he's playing many different versions of one character. And because you can talk about because we've all seen it, the main husband who puts the googly eyes and everything is such an endearing character. Yes. And when he reveals, this is how I deal with things in the world, I go, that's really good. And then you have the Wong Kar-wai universe where he says the line about, I'd rather would have liked doing laundry and taxes with you. And that's great. And then you have, the super cool one beating people up with a fanny pack. Oh, it's all the same character in different universes, and he's playing them all like they are separate characters, but they still feel the same.
It's honestly
all at once.
I'm not even kidding. I think I've seen this movie 2 or 3 times now.
Really?
Yeah. I've cried every single time. It is.
You cry at everything.
I know that, but it hits me so hard. I love it so dearly. I want it to win every award possible, and I'm gonna be happy when he wins the award.
Yeah, and then you get 2 from Banshees.
I know they're both getting hyped.
2 very different performances. Would you say, Jake?
Oh yes.
Brendan Gleeson is very, very quiet in this, but his presence is felt. And then Barry is doing Barry things, being a little weirdo, also calling out Colin Farrell at times where it's yeah, he's kind of right, yeah.
Okay.
You're kind of a boring cat.
I'm excited to watch this. I want to watch this probably this weekend. I really truly am.
Then you got Judd Hirsch's first nomination in like 40 years. He got nominated for supporting actor for Ordinary People in 1980.
Oh.
So it's been a while. He's very good in that. He's also very good in Fablemans. He only has like 3 scenes. And man, does he make the most of them, because the big scene that had to be like 15 minutes of the movie.
The one in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's 15 minutes. How long is the movie?
It's about
2
hours and 20 minutes. But
Yes.
2 hours, 30 minutes. It's about 2.5 somewhere.
Is
in
it
there.
really that long? It did not feel
It doesn't
that
feel
long.
like it. It's perfectly paced. I thought Judd Hirsch was dead.
Oh.
I was like, oh my gosh, because when you watch
They
Ordinary
reanimated
People,
him. What is this, some kind of Ready Player One stuff?
Oh my god.
well, like when you look at him on like Taxi and in Ordinary People, it's like, oh, this guy's in like his 40s or 50s, in the 70s and 80s, and I mean, it's not far off. He's 87, he's old.
Yeah.
But I remember him, I think, the most from Independence Day.
Yeah.
As a kid, he plays Jeff Goldblum's dad in the movie. I think that's my first time I ever saw him.
Yeah,
But glad he got nominated. Sad that Paul Dano got no love for Fablemans.
I'm kind of surprised.
I don't know how.
I'm actually surprised.
What did you say after Fablemans, Jake, about Paul Dano?
Was it Dano or Dano? Really quick.
He can be in anything.
No, it was, can Paul Dano be my dad?
Can Paul Dano be my dad?
To be fair, I want Paul Dano.
Dano.
I keep wanting to say Dano. I want him to be my dad. I love Paul Dano. He's awesome.
He's really good in it, and nothing against Judd Hirsch, of course, who makes the most of every second. Paul Dano has a great performance, and he's been snubbed for Oscars his whole career. He should have been nominated for Love and Mercy. He should have been nominated maybe for Prisoners, even though he's not even in it that much. He makes the most of it.
Yeah.
Should have been nominated for There Will Be Blood.
Yes, he was. Oh dear God! Yes,
He's the main antagonist.
No, I said he wasn't nominated.
No.
That's
okay. I thought you said he was in it.
There Will Be Blood.
obviously he wasn't.
Gonna say.
Oh my God! But and I do want to mention really quickly, Brian Tyree. I love that man so much. Keep giving him more roles. Keep giving him more things to do, because one of these days he's going to win an Oscar. I don't know if he's won one yet. I don't know if this is his first one he's nominated
this is his
for.
first one. Okay, this is his first, I believe, and I'm laughing because
he's going to eventually win.
I'm laughing because Causeway is the movie that a lot of people thought Jennifer Lawrence was going to get nominated for, and that she produced, and she ends up not getting anything.
That's kind of funny.
And that makes me so happy.
We all know that you're not a fan of Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, so seeing him nominated, I go, hey, that's great.
It makes me so Atlanta is going to go down as one of my personal favorite shows of all time, and Brian Tyree is one of the reasons. He is so good.
He's that guy from Eternals.
Eternals. He's also Eternals.
So there's 2 Eternals cast members in this category.
I know there are. That's
Anyone
so
remember
weird.
the movie? Nope. Yeah, pretty good categories. A lot of good categories.
This is a good category.
Okay, on to Best Actress. We've got Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde.
Which, really quick, she also won a Razzie. She also was nominated for a Razzie for this.
Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Woo! Sorry, I was very excited that she got nominated for that.
Yeah, so I have seen 2 of these.
I have seen 1. Take a guess which one it is.
I've seen 3. This is the one I have seen the most of.
And
Yay!
So having seen Tar, right now the hype is leaning towards Blanchett. Do you think she's going to win this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's Blanchett over Yeoh?
Look, those, in my opinion, those are the 2 front runners.
Yeah, Yeoh is getting a lot of momentum.
I don't know. Recency bias is hitting me hard here.
I've yet to see Tar, so I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, exactly. I just keep hearing the hype behind.
It's so real. Whereas opposed to Michelle Yeoh, it's kind of a.
It's also still very real, but just in a different.
But
sense.
like.
Okay, I haven't seen.
Tar is a thing that is actually happening in our society, and the way that Kate Blanchett portrays that.
Really quick, I have no clue what it's about. Could you tell me what it's even about?
It is about a woman. It is about a woman preparing to conduct a piece of music. She's very prominent in the conductor musical classical thing world.
Okay.
It actually starts the same way that the Last of Us series starts.
Oh.
Literally the same way.
Interesting.
And then her struggle to maintain that power is the story of the movie.
Okay.
I really like it. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one of these two to pick. There's also like Michelle Williams, like she would deserve it too.
Yeah.
But I definitely I'm kind of leaning towards Kate Blanchett.
I'm torn. I'm right there between Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh.
I was actually excited for Blonde, and then it came out and everyone hates it.
Yeah.
So I was like, uh-oh, and I'm reading like, oh, yep, this is exactly what it shouldn't have done, which is let's have a highlight reel of all the worst moments of Marilyn Monroe's life. So I was like, man, I was actually excited about this, and then I saw the running time, and I go, oh.
How long is it?
It's just under 3 hours.
Yo!
And then also, it's NC-17, and I go, why is it NC-17? And then I look, and I go,
because it's Marilyn Monroe, I'm sure.
Well, there's an assault scene, I believe. And it's like, we don't really need those be shown in movies. So I'm very hesitant to see it, but I end up seeing it.
It's so sad because like she was great in Knives Out, and I'm glad that she at least got a nomination for this. But
yeah, just historical figures, as we've said, that's the way to get Oscar nominations and win.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah, and then Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie. I don't know much about it.
I've never heard of To Leslie. Do a little quick search or just click on it, just see what it is.
It is a movie.
It is, in fact, a movie. And there's not much that I can...
Yeah, she's an alcoholic in the movie. That's as much as I've read.
Shocker. Playing troubled characters usually tends to lead to...
Well, it's because they have to yell a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Jennifer Lawrence in one of my favorite movies.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
Where out of nowhere just throws all...
Bah!
What? I get she's unpredictable, but that's just like asking for an Oscar. It's not even like this adds nothing to the movie.
Yeah.
Worst part of that. Not second worst part of that movie.
Chris Tucker's a favorite.
Yeah, what is the point of Chris Tucker?
To break the illusion.
Yep. He's on the poster. His name's on the poster too. That's so
I mean, we've had this story forever. Bryan Cranston's name is on the poster of 2014 Godzilla.
Yeah,
he's in it more than Chris Tucker's in.
That's fair.
And actually has something to do with the story. Instead of just being Bradley Cooper's friend that just shows up in the middle of the movie again.
That's fair.
Which makes me wonder if he's in it more, but they cut him out.
Maybe. I don't know.
Not that makes the movie, but I'm just wondering why.
I don't know that I'd want to see an extended cut of that movie.
I'd see a cut without Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't know how possible that would be. Replace Jennifer Lawrence with Chris Tucker?
Oh, God.
Maybe.
You understand the words coming out of my mouth? That's what he'd say to Bradley Cooper. I'm not going to do the voice because I probably shouldn't, and I can't do it, so.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Aren't they making another Rush Hour?
I think they might be, actually.
Oh, Rush Hour.
Well, anyway.
Yeah. Best Actor. We have Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nye for Living.
Whoop, whoop.
I've seen 3 of these.
I've only seen 2.
I have not seen 1. Or no, I've seen 10 minutes of Elvis. So I don't know. I haven't even seen...
Can you really count that?
No.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I think Austin Butler's going to win.
Really?
Probably,
Not
yeah.
Fraser?
Like
You don't think Brendan Fraser is going to win? All the hype right now is for Brendan Fraser.
The Oscars do have a tendency to give people the award they put in fat suits.
Well, and especially just like right now, Brendan Fraser is like the people's choice. Like if you go online and search Brendan Fraser, it's going to be nothing but everybody loving him, everybody being on board with him, everybody wanting him to win.
I've tried to pick these things based on that before. It doesn't always work.
I know that. Well, that's.
And
I'm torn.
Austin Butler is Elvis, and again, known people are harder to portray than unknown people. And he is just so good.
Yeah.
He is the movie.
Elvis is one of the most impersonated people ever.
Yeah.
And it did not feel like that. And it's because not only was the voice didn't feel cartoonish, it felt like a person talking and thank you very much.
And
but the physicality of the performance is one of the most spot-on things I've ever seen. He captures every inch of movement that Elvis ever did. I don't know how to explain it. Just you can feel it when you're watching.
You know what
he is Elvis in this. He is.
You know what my favorite scene in that movie is? The first when he's on the stage in the fair.
Oh, at the fair.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the first shake things when all the girls are going crazy.
Was it at the fair? I know what the
was that the fair or the was it a school talent show?
I can't remember what it was.
Basically,
he starts the hip thing, and the women go nuts.
It's funny.
That's how it was back in the day. I mean,
they go super nuts.
It's like a. Whoa.
They start throwing articles of clothing up on stage at him.
I mean, they still kind of do that.
That's definitely still a thing.
But it's like they just start losing it, and I go, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm actually there. For how much of this movie I don't like, there are moments, especially in the performance moments, that you feel it. And I was like, man, they're nailing that. There's a whole scene in the second half where when he starts his Vegas, what's that called?
Like tour or
no? When
I know
what is it?
When you have
his show that he has with the
when you have
what's it called?
It's
kind of like vacancy or something.
Yeah, a residency
or residency. There we go.
Yeah.
When you have he's starting his Vegas residency, and he's talking about how to build up the opening number to the first song, and it's doing a back and forth cutting from this to him actually performing, and like saying like now these instruments, now these, and I'll come out like this, and it is actually electric. It's again, there are parts of this that make me go, this is so good. Why is so much of this movie just not good? But he is the embodiment of the character he plays. It's impressive.
That's fair. That is fair.
The other thing with Brendan Fraser is, I don't know if we've talked about this now because we've been talking for so long, but The Whale does have a bit of controversy around it right now, and like how much does that hurt his chances of that? Because they don't want to. Obviously, they don't want to be seen in support of such a thing, but also the speeches that I've seen Brendan Fraser give about the message of The Whale, kind of correct for that a little bit.
Well, that's the thing is I know the audience scores and the critic scores. It's not as high as you would think it was when A24 was trying to hype it up with all their promos and stuff like that. But I just the one thing that keeps like throughout, like regardless of how iffy the reviews are for the movie, it's always been just his performance. He's the best part of the movie.
Yeah. And I don't. It's like when the movie ended, as I said before, I liked it. I was like, yeah, I like that. And then as like the next day or two passed, I was like, I'm not really liking this. It when people throw around words like fatophobic or fatphobic, however you say it, yeah, it kind of is being unnecessarily cruel to him for being that overweight. And I think the movie's trying to be sympathetic. I don't think it comes off that way. Especially when all Sadie Sink does is make fun of him and call him names. It's like, I understand this would probably be realistic, but there's a certain point where you're just doing this to be cruel, and it's not something I want to watch. And I don't think I like the portrayal, even though he's acting so well in it. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't really appreciate that in its portrayal. It's like, you know what I'm trying to say?
No,
I don't know how to put it
understand.
into
No,
words.
that
I feel
makes-
like there are people. There are people. I feel like there are a lot more people who can talk about this better than I can. And it's just as I thought. I was like, yeah, I don't like this the way he's treated in this, and I don't even think the movie is about his treatment, because it kind of has scenes of him just like, how to put this? Yes, he's gonna binge eat because it's part, but then there are times it's like, this just feels a little cartoonish.
Hard to watch.
There's
almost.
one part that's really hard to watch of him binge eating, and it's so that's the best I could say about it. I'm not qualified to talk about this, but it's like, it just makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, that's
because
fair.
of course it's Aronofsky, who's always been divisive.
I mean, that's literally his.
And they've tried to promote the good side of the movie. It's like, yeah, but I don't think it's doing what you say it's doing. Mm-hmm. But Brendan is great.
Yeah.
I think in my heart of hearts, I want Colin Farrell to win.
Yeah, he's also very good. He's a
valid.
very simple person in the movie. That's like the whole point. Is he's just, that's why Brendan Gleeson is like stopping the friendship.
That's what I was about to
part.
ask.
I'm not going to say more.
Who? Like it was.
Brendan Gleeson is the one that's not, but Colin Farrell just feels like someone because I'm trying to dance around. The point is, he does, like any normal person does not want the friendship to just be over and tries to act like it's not, and that just he keeps trying because that's what he does.
I love that scene where I think it was when they were outside the pub drinking, and
when he tells him why,
and Podrick is like, he's giving him all the reasons, like, yeah, sure, that's fantastic, but so is that day I talked about my donkey's poop, and like, that whole interaction, I don't want to obviously say too much about it because,
but he's really, really good. He feels like a real person, and you feel really bad for him. And it's not like everything he does is good. And of course, he can get a little annoying here and there, like a normal person would. He just feels like a fully fleshed out character.
I mean, that's what McDonald's.
And it is a quieter performance than, especially a lot of these other ones. But actually, the two we're going to talk about in a second, we have not much to say about because we don't know about. Feel like a lot. So, have either of you heard of After Sun?
Literally not at all.
I keep seeing it on Letterboxd, and
I'm hearing fantastic things. It's I think it's like a distant father that took his daughter on like a trip, and she's like remembering it from now, something like that. I don't want to read too much into it because I want to see it. I hear Paul Mescal is fantastic in it.
It's another A24 movie.
Yeah, I just hear great things about it. And then Bill Nye the British guy. Oi, 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 oi. In the Ikiru remake is also very good. Bill Nye,
he's just fantastic.
Has always been great. He's always in like some bad stuff, like at World's End or now G-Force is great. What am I saying? There's a moment in G-Force that has always stuck with me, and he's the spoilers for G-Force.
If you care,
he's the faux bad guy. It's like this whole movie we think he's the bad guy and he's not. And then when the cops or whoever ask him like, "What's going on?" and he goes, "I don't know." It cracks me up. It's so hard of a line to it. I don't know. It cracks me up. But yeah, I'm interested to see Living because again, I really like Ikiru, and I'm curious to see what an American remake looks like this long after.
It's gonna be interesting to see.
Who do we? Sorry, that was weird. Who do we say we're pushing again? You said Austin Butler.
I think Austin Butler. I want
that's
Colin
what I'm
Farrell,
feeling,
but I think Austin Butler.
Yeah. I think it's going. I mean, personally, based on what you guys were saying, I think it's going to be between Brendan Fraser and Austin Butler.
I think those are the two frontrunners, and then Farrell would be in that
like
third slot, and then the other two I don't think have a shot, but it's nice to see them.
Oh, absolutely.
Alrighty, we're getting to the home stretch.
These are the last couple big ones.
Best director.
Here we go.
We have Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
The Daniels.
We have Todd Field for Tar. We have Martin McDonough for The Banshees of Inisherin. We have Ruben Östlund, I think is how you say that. Probably should have looked that up.
I'll trust your...
What?
Wistland.
Yeah, I think the two things over the O make a U sound.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for Triangle of Sadness, and Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Spielberg is the only director on here who has been nominated before and won. Spielberg has 9 nominations. Yeah. He is tied with Scorsese for the second most all time. Does anyone know who leads with 12? You're not going to get it.
For directing?
Yeah, you're not going to get
not
it.
a clue.
William Wyler, one of my favorites.
You know, I probably could have...
Who has 3 wins, I believe.
Realistically, if I thought about that for 20 minutes, I probably could have came up.
20 minutes.
I could have
so Spielberg has 2 wins and 9 nominations. Östlund, if I'm saying that right again, has never been nominated until now. He has won, I think, 2 or 3 Palme d'Ors. I think he's one of the few multiple winners because Triangle of Sadness won the Palme d'Or this past year. Martin McDonough, this is his first Best Director nomination. He's been nominated for Picture and Screenplay. He did not get nominated in 2017, and he should have.
I thought he did.
Nope.
Huh.
17, Del Toro won. Then you had Jordan Peele, Greta Gerwig, Paul Thomas Anderson, and
Was 17
and Christopher Nolan.
Was 17 3 Billboards?
Yeah. He did not, but Martin McDonough did not get nominated.
That's a shame.
Todd Field has never been nominated, but he's been nominated for his 2 previous films. This is Todd Field's first movie in 16 years. In 2001, he made In the Bedroom. It got a Best Picture nomination and 3 acting nominations. And then in 2006, he did Little Children, which had 2 acting nominations, and he had a screenplay nomination. And then he didn't make a major feature-length motion picture for 16 years. He's kind of on the rise, and then just didn't do anything.
Well, after this, I bet he's going to be back on the...
I'd hope, from what Jake says, Tar is really good. And I've seen the other 2 movies of his, and they're both very good. And then, of course, The Daniels is their first nomination. This is only their second movie, isn't it, or something?
It
Or like
is.
second big
feature
together. Because I think Scheinert did The Death of Dick Long a couple years ago. They might have movies
these
before
are the critically. I just think this is a fun thing to say. These guys got nominated for an Oscar this year. Do you want to know what music video they directed?
The boat one?
November Rain.
DJ Snakes, Turned Down for What? An absolute classic. And they directed that, and they directed...
Stop.
That's amazing. That's mind-boggling. I love it. Just had to put it out there.
Gotcha.
So, I've seen 4 of these 5.
I have seen
Same.
1.
Oh, 3. I've seen 3, not 4.
Oh, yeah. You want me to just go through what I think of all 5? Or 4 that
Sure.
I've seen? So I know what I want, but I know what I think will win. I don't think Todd Field's going to get it.
I think right now in Tar, at least what I'm hearing critics-wise, is it's the biggest push is just for Kate.
Do you want me to guess what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Are you going to push Steve? You think this is his big...
You think Steve's going to...
I feel
I want Martin McDonough.
You want Martin?
Yep.
Who do you
I
think?
think Everything Everywhere is probably going to take that one.
Yeah. Which would be the second time Best Director was won by 2 directors. Anyone know the first time?
That's a good...
Is it something Coen Brothers?
Mm-hmm. Which movie?
I don't know.
We've talked about it on this podcast before.
I'm gonna go
True Grit?
Country.
No. Yeah.
They got it. No Country, they won.
Makes sense. That's
So
really,
I think that's the only one that's won.
That's very interesting. Because it's interesting you say that, Jake, because in my mind, I think the 2 front runners for this are similar to what I think it's Steve and the Daniels.
I wouldn't be mad. If any one of these people won. They are all, well, I don't know about Triangle of Sadness, but I just assume that it's a fantastic film.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Banshees of Inisherin is more direct and intentional. It has to be to keep you engaged.
I mean, I could say that. It's coming from me, having not seen this, but I could say the same as for Everything Everywhere. It has to, like, there's so...
Well, didn't I say that I think that they're going to pick that one?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, okay.
Which is a similar thing to what you said about Martin McDonagh. Is I think, like, there's a lot to juggle with Everything Everywhere, and I think that's where direction and editing comes down to.
But, like you've said before, Fabelmans it's Steven Spielberg caring again.
That's true.
And that really comes through.
And Hollywood loves Hollywood. That's where I'm so...
And it's barely about actually making movies, too.
It's about his family. Mm-hmm. And there are moments of, like, the movie making does not become the most important thing in the movie. How many movies where the artistry is more important and it's like someone learning, like, maybe this isn't the most important thing. This is kind of the opposite. This is, he likes this. He wants to do this, but because of what's happening with his family, he doesn't feel like it's essential. So it's him learning to love something that he once did. I can't say too much.
And letting that thing carry him through a hard time in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and I don't want to hear I don't want to hear
go
a
see
love
it right
letter
now
to movies. And I don't want to hear that's me.
Dickey, if you come in here after seeing that and say that, I'm going to throw something at you.
There's nothing wrong.
Exactly
There's nothing inherently wrong with saying that. I just don't want to talk to you because I'll probably get mad.
Oh, yeah, you're just mad because you thought the same thing while you were watching it.
I already told you there are parts where I see a little bit of myself in that, but like overall, no. It harkens to Patrick Willem's review of it, of like, wow, this like stunt he did, like this little camera trick he did is so, like, you know, teen Spielberg thought of that. That's brilliant. And then I realized, of course, I didn't think of it. He's Steven Spielberg. I'm just a dumb idiot. So, and that's the thing. Like, the movie makes me, it like reminds me of why I do love creating. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because the way you watch, it's Sammy, right? Is the character, because it's not. It's
not actually.
It's not Stevie.
The way watching him get excited about making things and getting groups of people together to make them, it just looks like fun. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, I remember those days of just goofing off with friends with a camera. Yeah. Of course, he's much better at it than I ever was.
Oh, me too, probably.
But yeah, that's what it does, and it's so good. Yeah, this is a hard one.
It is.
I could easily. They've been doing this thing where some years Best Picture, Best Director just don't line up. Like for the majority of them, it's the same thing. But like last year, Power of the Dog won Best Director, Dakota won Best Picture. But then the year before, Chloe Zhao won for Nomadland, and that won Best Picture.
Right.
And the year before, Bong Joon-ho won for Parasite. So like those 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
What did
what?
Who directed Nomadland again?
Chloe Zhao, who also directed Eternals.
Yeah.
Did she direct something else?
I think that's it.
That was like Nomadland was her big.
Yeah, I think those are the two big.
Maybe
ones.
I'm thinking about producing. I thought I saw, because I watched the trailer for Women Talking because I had no idea what it was. Mm-hmm. I thought I read on it that it said from someone that was involved with Nomadland.
Probably Dee Dee Gardner.
Maybe. I don't know.
Let's see. Nope, not Dee Dee Gardner.
Yeah, that's
Jeremy Klein.
It might not have even been that, though. It might have been something completely unrelated.
But yeah. Do we have anything else to say about Best Director? It's kind of it's what we say. It's probably between the Daniels and Spielberg, which I could easily see Spielberg winning it, and then something else winning Picture if that's the case. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, this is a harder year to track. Last year was a pretty straightforward year for the most part.
Because I really think what it's going to come down to, honestly, I think it's going to come down to how many new and young members of the Academy there are. Because I really think if you're more of a millennial or more of a younger person, you might lean more towards Everything Everywhere.
He is really pushing hard for that movie, isn't he?
I am. I love
I mean,
it
it's
so
hard
much.
when Out of all the movies you've seen on here, that's like the only one.
I know that.
It's also hard to criticize him for it when I love the movie.
And I take my opinion with a grain of salt. I just.
Oh, we always do.
Okay.
If anything, it's more like a tray of salt.
Yeah, a giant block of salt.
No, a tray.
No.
The salt's already cut up because we can flick it at you.
No. It's
block
like
of salt?
it's like
We're not going to buy a block of salt.
Salt?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I licked one once for a dare, and it's very disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to eat it, are you?
I know. Listen, I was walking in a family. I was like back in college. I was walking down a family affair aisle. We saw a giant block of salt and
with the yellow bandage around it, right?
Yep.
It's got the little handle.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to stock those.
My buddy's like, "Hey, I bet you it won't lick it." I said, "Bet," and I licked it.
you're not friends with this person anymore, right?
No, I'm actually not.
Okay, good life choice.
Did the relationship get a little salty?
You could say so. That's a different story.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh no, Dickey's opinion is more like one of those salt fly gun things. Just pow! Oh! I mean, it's not gonna kill me, but dang it!
Anything else, director?
That's all I got to say.
Alrighty, everyone.
This
the
is
last
it.
one, the big
This
category.
is it.
The big
10
boy.
Best Picture.
Woo!
There are 10 nominees for the second year in a row after many years without it. The Academy used to have, now when they first started, there was a limit. Actually, the first ceremony had a split. There was Best Picture and Best Artistic Picture. They combined them by the next year.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
interesting
by
tidbit.
the somewhere in the early 30s, I think it's like 31 or 32, they expanded to 12. And there are 2 years in there, I think like 33 and 34 or something like that. There are 12 movies. And then in 1943, they had 10, like 9 or 10, and they changed the rules to make it 5. So from the 1945 ceremony for 1944's movies through 2008, there were 5 nominees.
And then one movie
And then in
changed
2009, for the 2009 year, they changed it to I think it's minimum 5, maximum 10. And they had 10 in 2009, 10 in 2010, and then they did not fill out the category until last year. So it's this weird.
Like
it's
that
this.
they fill out. I think 10 movies like that's a good number. I think they should try to. Stick
It's
to that.
interesting because some years they have movies in there. Well, that's every year, but some years they have a good amount of movies that shouldn't be nominated, and then other years they don't fill out the category, and there are plenty of snubs that could have been in that spot. One thing I think it was 2014 is a pretty good year in movies.
It was.
They had 8 nominees, and they did not nominate Foxcatcher, despite it having 2
They had a
acting
couple.
nominations and a Best Director nomination, which Best Director usually gets a Best Picture nomination. Not always. Another example, more recently, Cold War had a Best Director nomination, but not a Best Picture
Yes.
nomination.
Love Cold War.
Yeah, just stuff like that. So we are now in this era of back-to-back years of all 10 nominations.
Whoa.
Nominees filled. There we go. And here are the nominees for Best Picture. Most of them, all of them we've talked about. So we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. I have seen 7 of them. I have not seen Tar, Triangle of Sadness, or Women Talking.
2, 3. I've seen 2. I know.
Aren't you on a movie podcast?
Yeah, listen, it was. I had a bad time trying to get out this last year.
I know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But you
easier.
saw Turning Red 8 times. Oh, twice. And how many did you say, Jake?
6 or 7.
6?
It's a
6 or
little
7?
harder. I don't know. I just had a hard time getting out to movies.
It's easier to count the ones I haven't seen.
6. You've seen 6, I think. I think that's
Yeah,
right.
6.
Yeah, I feel there are some years in the past where I've seen, like before I was super paying attention to watching things before the ceremony, I'd seen like 3, which that's often people are like, I haven't heard of any of these. That's something I hear just about every year about the Oscars. Like, I don't know any of these, therefore they're not good, is basically what th're saying. And it's like, yeah, that's because these are like actual like movie people and not just I want to watch Marvel movies only.
Why didn't Transformers get nominated?
I don't think anybody wants that to get, but I'm happy to see.
I don't know about that. I think
more. Listen, we have Avatar on here. We have Top Gun Maverick, and I'm very happy both of those are on there because those are the kind of movies that people actually showed up to see.
I mean, it's better than bull crap.
It's better than. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
If you cannot tell, we're not a fan of Bohemian Rhapsody.
It's like Avatar and Top Gun were going to be on here because of the cultural impact.
Yes.
I would easily swap them out for something else.
What?
I'd put RRR in there. I
That's
personally
valid.
put Bardo on there. I thought Babylon was going to get nominated. Not being there is a bit of a surprise. I'm fine with it not being in there.
Mm-hmm.
But like RRR and Bardo I'd put in there. I am glad All Quiet on the Western Front. That was a surprise. It just kind of swooped in.
It
and
really did.
Got all those nominations, yeah. Then, of course, Banshees being on there, we knew it was going to be on
You
there.
definitely saw that one coming.
Yeah. Elvis, actually, I would swap out Elvis before the other two as a personal, but it makes sense why it's there. It's probably the worst movie of the pack that I've
very
seen.
similar vibes to having not seen either. So this is coming from someone who hasn't seen either. Very similar vibes to Babylon, where it's kind of polarizing. And I guess polarizing is a strong word, but
They're polarizing for different ways.
yeah.
Babylon's polarizing because it's just so much to take in, and the movie overstays its welcome, and it's like 30 minutes too long.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And so it's not as polarizing. It's just a bit divisive. Elvis is polarizing because there are some pretty big things that are controversial from Elvis's life that they don't really discuss. Like, him and, what was his wife's name? Priscilla, right? When he started getting close to Priscilla, she was like 14. That's not okay. I understand it's a different time, but that's really gross. And she's a character in the movie.
Oh, I figured she
But
would
they
be.
don't
She would have to
really
be.
do anything with that on that front. And it's such a glaring thing that people these days bring up all the time, and they don't address it at all.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and it's an ongoing discussion of, like, Elvis covering black artist songs and making money off of it. And it's kind of there's two different sides of this because that's a very interesting thing. I of course don't have the know-how or perspective to talk about it more than that. But on the other side, there have been interviews with like Little Richard and other black artists that said, if he doesn't break through with the style of music, we don't get anywhere at that time either. So it's kind of not. There's no absolute in this case. It's just, and they don't really go into. They talk. That's the thing. They talk about how controversial a lot of this is, and like how countercultural is. But they don't really explain it. They just say he is, and then just show some concerts. And there's a really great sequence where the police break up a concert at a ballpark, but then there's nothing behind it. I guess the movie it's funny. It's an example of showing and not telling that I don't think is good because they're showing us, but it doesn't mean anything outside of the visuals, and I think it's going more into it. But the movie is moving so fast and covering so much, we don't have time to sit and actually like let things be explained or developed. Would you agree, Jake?
Yeah, there's no time to. It's like BVS.
Oh boy.
There is no room for any of those scenes to breathe. It's all flash. It's all flash in a pan.
That's fair.
Which again is kind of how he lived. So
yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't mean it's a great movie. And I wish Austin Butler had a better movie. That is the performance of a lifetime, and it's trapped in that. I thought I think I've softened on it a bit because there are parts that I genuinely really like. I just think it deserves better. But
That makes sense.
it's successful. It's got awards prestige now. It doesn't need a dumb idiot like me saying anything about it. Who am I?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And then of course Everything Everywhere is the big breakout hit. And
Absolutely.
I could see it winning this.
That's the thing. I'm trying to looking through here.
I think that and Fabelmans, I think, are the two front runners.
I
want Fabelmans to win.
I'd put. It's one of those. I'd push for Fabelmans, and I'm fine with either one getting it. I'm totally fine. Yeah, and Fabelmans again. I think we've talked plenty about, like, 'cause we want you to see it so we can actually talk to you about it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna now that the list is finally came out of things that I should see, it's a lot easier to start checking.
It also says something where apparently, according to Paul Dano, Spielberg was crying on set just about every day.
Oh,
He just said, like, he just burst into tears for how personal it is. Because imagine recreating scenes from your life that you look back on, from 50, 60 years before. Like, you're recreating it right in front of you, like, to the detail. Like, that's overwhelming.
Oh,
I can't
absolutely.
imagine being in that situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, I could, I guess, because my life is pretty boring. So it's like, wow, this is the most boring thing in the world for me to be making my childhood. Let's see. Oh, there's Jared. He's sitting outside on his swing set, and he's got a burger on a fork. No buns, no condiments, just a burger. He's just sitting there eating it. Okay, time to drink out of the hose. That's
Hey.
it sounds like a great time. I don't need to watch a movie about that.
Don't forget that.
Side note, add that to script. Anyway, you were saying?
Don't forget that one time you dropped your brother on the pavement.
I did not drop my brother on pavement.
Oh, boy.
I put my knees on his shoulders, grabbed his head, and started slamming it against the carpet.
And you say I was
No. I'm talking about my leg.
Well, that wasn't outside. That was inside.
Oh, my bad.
No, I picked him up, and he said, "Let go." So I let go, and he slammed to the ground. And
If you said let go.
yeah, that's my childhood movie.
I don't think any of us have quite as interesting of his childhood.
I don't know.
As Spielberg does.
I don't know. You pushed your sister through a wall.
I mean, that is true. I did do
This
some
joke will never die.
I'm just crippled, so it wasn't very exciting.
Well, then there's Tar.
I don't see it beating. I don't see it beating out Fabelmans or Everything Everywhere.
But you're glad it's here.
I'm glad. Oh yeah, I am not upset about any of these movies. I'm not excited about any of these movies, except maybe Avatar.
That was going to be in there.
But that's less. I'm upset about it, and more. I just don't care.
It's good.
It's fine.
It's the thing for me that is just mind-boggling is at this point of recording and this point of dropping, Avatar or James Cameron, this man has made 3 movies over $2 billion. One man, like, that's just, I can't.
And they're his last 3 movies too,
Like,
and they've spanned the entire life that my brother has lived. In the
it's
span of
insane.
25 years, he's made 3 movies.
It is insane, and they all make that much. Like, I'm speechless. It's just crazy to me. And I think this is kind of the nomination is kind of just saying, like, we respect.
It's a recognition, and I like it better than the first movie because I think I actually care.
Too. Yeah.
Because the first movie, everyone is extremely bland, and this one they're slightly less bland. And I actually don't. His kids are okay characters, but I actually cared. When people are in danger, I actually felt something a little bit unlike the first movie. And the part of me I was thinking the other day, of course, remember, I'm a nobody. I've never done any of this, but for how long they worked on this movie, and how much thought and care, precision, and they couldn't come up with a better story.
Yeah.
I don't understand, because, like, it's such a simple story, sure, but you can at least put a little more nuance and a little less repetition.
And the only thing
it feels like the same thing over and over.
It does, and the thing for me that kind of is the worst part about that is that it's a simple and it's long.
Yeah, it's too long.
It does not have to be.
How many times does a kid get in danger? He or someone goes to rescue him. They come back and he says to a guy, "I'll talk to him."
Right.
That happens like 5 times.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just a TV show put into one. Like, this
really is. Like, 3:15, something like that. Like,
it's 192 minutes.
Can you break that into hours and minutes for me, buddy? I can't.
That is 3 hours and 12 minutes. You're close.
Oh, I was close. So yeah, it's literally like.
Which is funny because it's only like 2 minutes longer than Babylon.
Oh my, that's That's right. That's the other reason why I have not had a chance to go see Babylon, because it's so flipping long.
So that's the thing about Avatar. It's just, for how long it took them to make and how much thought goes into it, you'd think they had something a little more interesting for a story.
I think they put all that
And
time into the FX.
and the technical achievements are great. I just feel like for all the people working on this, you can come up with a little more. I like the where they're staying and how the different types of Na'vi, have adapted to the surrounding. But I mean, I just don't care, and how much stuff is recycled from the first movie is a bit.
That's the other thing. It feels like it's kind of the first movie again, but with a couple twists in there, and it's not personally like.
You are really making me want to see it.
It's good.
Fine. The more I think about it, the more I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
I know I said I cared during the movie.
Great. I started it. I don't care. I wonder what that's going to mean.
And then after a couple weeks, I was just like, wow, for how much I have not thought about this. Mm-hmm. I really don't think about this. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I'm like, yeah. I watched it, said, yeah, the technical achievements were good. The underwater stuff is beautiful.
It is.
That looks great.
It's gorgeous.
It's the best looking underwater stuff I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
But then the rest of it's like, yeah,
you mean
fine.
it tops Wakanda Forever?
Oh,
yeah.
You mean it tops that?
Just by a
what about Finding Nemo?
Yeah, so that's my whole thing with Avatar. Just it's important. It's big. I just don't think it's anything great.
Did it win in 2009?
What?
Avatar.
Best Picture?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That was Hurt Locker.
But it was nominated, though, right? Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought.
And it won 6. They won a bunch of them.
It's not even nominated for 6 now, is it?
How many did it nominate for? Let me check that. Wait.
It's going to win for VFX.
4.
Yeah.
4.
I was going to say, All Quiet on the Western Front, I think, has been nominated for more than Avatar.
I'll be very curious to see who's going to sweep up the technical categories this year. I think it's between those two.
One Top Gun's in there too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which another one? It's on here. I guess I'm fine with that.
It's not aggressively bad like some of the other ones that have been nominated.
It's a better movie than Avatar.
It probably is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes me happy about that is that and I know Avatar obviously brought people back because it made a crap load of money, but I feel like coming out of the pandemic, like we were starting to like try to get back to the movies a little bit more and more, and the Top Gun Maverick is the one that really, in my mind, just like everyone came back to go see, which is always a good thing.
It had legs. It just kept making money.
Much legs.
I think where I work, we got it in May and we got rid of it in like October.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It would not die. People just kept coming.
Yeah, that's how word of mouth works.
Yeah. Triangle of Sadness and Women Talking are 2 of the 3 I've not seen. Triangle of Sadness, as we've said multiple times, won the Palme d'Or. I've heard it's disgusting. I think I already said that. I'm excited to see it. I don't know much about it, and I don't want to know much about it going into it.
Disgusting? How?
I don't know. I'm not going to ask.
I like the only thing we know is disgusting. We gotta see it. I love that.
I think Karsten Runquist was the one on Letterboxd that said something like, I never thought I'd actually have to use my complimentary barf bag.
Oh, I'm so excited to watch this.
Yeah, and like Jake said, it's Criterion. It's coming in April.
Very cool.
Yep. And then Women Talking, we've talked about.
And we were talking on.
So I'd heard a little bit about it, but I didn't think about it, and then it just kind of popped in and got one of those last slots. So probably won't win anything. I mean, I could see it pulling a coda, even come out of nowhere and win something, but at the same time, like, interested to see it.
Yeah, I want to try to find a way to watch this.
It's up for rent on Amazon Prime right now.
Women Talking is?
Oh, sorry. No, that was Glass Triangle.
Oh.
Triangle of Sadness.
There we go. That's the one.
Sorry, you mean Glass Triangle, A Knives Out Sadness?
A sad knife out.
A sad
knife out.
I like that. Oh my god, that's good.
Well, Anything else to say about Best Picture? I think we already said
think
Everything
we're-
Everywhere in Fablelands
I
we
think
feel are
those
the two
are-
front runners.
Yeah.
It's really early. Anything can happen in the next month plus.
It's what's
It's
going to
just
come
what-
down to is once the I think the DGA, the PGA, the WGA, is that awards too? Writers Guild, do they do
Yeah.
awards? Okay.
Yeah, and the BAFTAs,
The BAFTAs.
don't play as big of a role, but they still, it's like the week or two before, I think, usually, so
Those are
kind
the-
of has a little bit, but they lean toward the British films, of course.
Of course, yeah. Those
And-
are going to be the award shows to watch.
Yeah, and it's just funny how so much can change. Last year at this time, nominations announced, the front runner is Power of the Dog, or as I like to call it, Ropeback Mountain.
But
That was the front runner to win a bunch of awards, including Best Picture. It had like 11 or 12 nominations, something like that. Guess how many it won?
just Jane, right?
Yep, just Jane. Good for her.
Honestly, great for her.
Yeah, the movie I
was
don't
well
think
directed.
is that great, but
It's a good. I would give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd probably give it like a 7.5. 7.
that's a completely separate.
I know that's
thing.
yeah. That's
I
what
just
I
it is that look how that was the front runner, and then within the last 2 weeks, Coda just kind of swooped in and took it.
Absolutely.
A lot of the time, what happens is Best Picture tends to win a screenplay award. Not always, but
Also-
that tends to be a reoccurring thing. And also, I think Producers Guild and Writers Guild tend to be big previews on what's going to
was
win, especially the screenplay
Going
awards
to
for the Writers
say
Guild.
The Producers Guild. That's the big one to watch for Best Picture.
Yeah, I have stats that I've kept on all of my predictions in the last 10 years. And funny enough, one of my worst categories is Best Picture.
Of course it is.
For two reasons.
It's
One,
hard.
it's the biggest category, and two, it is the most unpredictable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. There is one category that I have more incorrect than correct, and I think that is visual effects. For some reason. I just can't
get it down.
because I picked Dawn of the Planet of the Apes over Interstellar. That was pretty dumb. I thought
You see,
I thought the
feel like-
mocap was going to
Yeah.
put it over the edge, but then you realize Chris Nolan's space movie. What were you thinking, Jared? And then in 2017, I thought War for the Planet of the Apes was going to be
You made the
Blade
same
Runner
mistake.
2049. Of
Same
course, Blade
mistake.
Runner's is better, but I thought, they're going to give it to the bigger name. Nope, that was dumb. And of course, 2018, everyone thought it was going to be Infinity War,
Yeah.
and they gave it to First Man. I had no idea First Man was going to win that award.
Infinity War probably deserved it.
2015, I thought Mad Max was going to win it, and it didn't. It won like 5 or 6
I remember it
awards.
swept a lot of tech categories.
Yeah, but it didn't get visual effects. It went to Ex Machina.
Dude, Ex Machina looks great. Though.
It was just like I kept picking the wrong. I just that
So,
one category.
So Julie, no. Whatever you pick for VFX, it's not going to be that.
Well, I got it last year. Last year was Dune.
Yeah, and you're probably gonna
Yeah,
get
last year,
this.
the only one I got wrong last year was animated short, and it bugs me because the only thing I had heard any rumblings about was Robin from Aardman. That's the only thing, and it didn't win. And then when I looked up what the windshield washer whatever it was,
Whatever. Yeah.
I can't remember what it's even about, other than the obvious. And when I read about it, it's like, of course that's winning. Why didn't I look that? It's happened in years where something wins in the short film categories. I didn't research it enough. I look at what it's about and I go, of course that's
got
gonna
it.
win. Why wouldn't it? What was I thinking? Yeah, so we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. And
how we
also,
do this
I
year.
think would be a fun thing. You guys should fill out, if you're listening to us, fill out an Oscar ballot, and we can fill out an Oscar ballots too. And I'll post them. I'll post them on like our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Word to the wise: do them as late as you can.
Yes.
Because the earlier you do it, the more likely something changes in each of their races.
True.
Where something new comes to light, something gains momentum, or someone has a controversy that hurts their chances. You never know what's going to happen. So I usually fill mine out the night before or the day of, like early in the day. Mm-hmm. That's usually what I do. Just so then I don't have time to think about it.
Because
Outside
then
of
you will overthink it. Yep.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about either Best Picture or the rest of the nominations or anything else about the Oscar ceremony for the year 2022?
Let's just hope Will Smith stays off the stage.
He has a 10-year ban.
Oh, all right. Or safe. life.
which is that's a whole nother conversation.
I know
It's one of those things. It's like what he did isn't okay, but 10 years is so strict. It's like, did he really do something that egregious when other people have done much worse? But then you have to think, but he did it on live TV, and they have to protect their show. It's like it's such a odd thing.
So
and
weird.
that speech was one of the funniest things I have ever seen in my life.
It was so great.
The second, because I was with you and and a bunch of people, and the second, I think it was me that said, "Oh my gosh, what? He's gonna win Best Actor. He has to give a speech," and we're all laughing, and he wins, and he goes up there and gives the most cringe speech I have ever seen. It was wonderful.
I still remember when we were watching it together. We were just like, "Wait, is this scripted? Wait, what just happened?" It was so funny. That was wild.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, just to shout out the honorary Academy Award winners. I'm going to slaughter this. I think it was Uzan Palsy. Then there's Diane Warren and Peter Weir are the 3 honorary winners. Peter Weir is one of my favorite directors. Truman Show, Master and Commander, Witness. So that's cool. And then Michael J. Fox is winning the Gene Herschel Humanitarian Award.
That's fantastic.
Yep. I will stand by that. Having them at the Governor's Awards ceremony is kind of lame. That they have their speech there, and then they just kind of are sitting at the Oscars when. I'd rather they speak at the Oscars or actually have like more of a moment. Mm-hmm. But no, we have to cut to more stupid jokes.
And more of performances of all the songs. Don't forget that.
I don't mind that because it makes sense. At least if they're performing a song that's nominated.
That is
That's like people don't like it. It makes sense. It's a performance, it's part of the show, and it's nominated for a movie. It's when they perform songs from movies in Kanto that aren't even nominated, and they're only doing it because it's popular, and they do it in the middle of the awards. In the middle, they didn't even lead off with them.
What was the song that they thought was going to win?
So
it wasn't it. We don't talk about Bruno.
No, because the Disney actually butchered that. They didn't.
Which one was it though?
They pushed the Caterpillar.
Is that what it was?
I don't know the translation because I am a dumb white boy.
That's right. I knew it wasn't Bruno.
But that was the song nominated, and then I can't remember what ended up winning last year.
That's a very good question. I have literally no.
I'm trying to remember.
Because it should have realistically, if Disney actually
thought about it for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was No Time to Die.
Oh, obviously that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember thinking like, wait a minute. They've performed all these songs, except for the Van Morrison song from Belfast. I wonder, Van Morrison's not vaccinated. He's outspoken against it, and I think you have to be to attend the ceremony.
Sounds about right.
That was another moment during the when we were sitting there like, oh, well, that makes sense.
That's awkward.
Anyway, I think that about wraps it up for our big, long Oscar spectacular thingy.
Marathon of a special.
Yes, please. These are the 95th Academy Awards. They will air on March 12th of this year.
They're very late this year.
I think they pushed them later in the last few years. Well, one year there was the Olympics, another year there was COVID. But I think they're going to be in March. I think from now on they're going to be a little later. And Kimmel will be hosting for his 3rd time.
Hooray!
Yeah, yippee!
To be fair, I feel like nobody wants the Oscar host job now. It's just
there shouldn't be a host. When they don't have a host, it's better. It moves faster.
Agreed.
And how about we actually air all the awards? That was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
I will stand by this really quick. I want to mention this. This might be controversial. Nobody really watches the Oscars anymore. So let's just...
That's not controversial.
Okay, no, but...
How is that controversial?
What I'm going to say...
The ratings have been plummeting for over a decade.
Just stream it. Just put it on Disney Plus.
Don't put it on Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, ABC.
I know. Don't put it on Disney Plus. Then they can't swear.
But they can't get... It's not on Peacock. It'd have to be Hulu. Because they have Hulu.
Yeah, do Hulu. Then they can say anything they want.
That would be fun.
Cut out the jokes. Don't have a host. Let people talk longer for their speeches.
I like that
because they cut them off after like 30 seconds unless it's one of the big awards. It drives me nuts. And actually show all the awards.
Yeah. So listen, Academy, listen
Giving
to us.
all those hard-working people the shaft for if they work on sound or visual effects or stuff like it's so stupid.
Exactly.
They're trying to rope in people that don't care.
Exactly,
when they should make
Jared.
it about the people who do care, the movie people. And that's not my original thought.
No.
I've talked about this with many people, and it's just this.
It's
It's
just a fact.
everyone's opinions that I've also shared with them. It's like that's what we all think.
Yeah.
Make it for people who actually care.
Because listen, the ratings keep plummeting and plummeting and plummeting. Nobody in the general population that just watches movies like once a month because they just think it's like this is about celebrating filmmaking. So you should just let those people shine. It's
Yeah.
Problem is they don't nominate enough Star Wars movies.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That Rise of Skywalker, man, that should have been nominated.
It was nominated for a couple.
See, but they need to nominate the Star Wars movies every year.
So Ewok Adventures.
Yes.
Although
Or they need to nominate things like She-Hulk and other Marvel stuff.
Hawkeye.
Right?
G-Force.
Yes.
Anyway.
We say that joking, but it's actually true. A lot more people would watch it because they feel like...
Are you talking about G-Force?
There's the show.
No, I'm talking about...
The show?
I'm talking about the Oscars. More people would watch it because they feel like... I think the general vibe I get is that they feel like it's elitist.
Jake, it is.
I know.
And it's really dumb, and I love it.
Like I said, they're pointless. They really don't mean anything, but it's just a way to...
But we all get mad anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway, again, March 12th of this year. Watch them. Make your predictions. Dickey, where can they find and listen to us?
Absolutely, yeah. So if you guys like listening to our marathon episode, we have a lot of awesome content also coming out. Check out, we are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, all at Off Slate Media. If you like listening to us, we're on every single podcasting website you can think of. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, everything. Make sure to rate us on that because it bumps up our ratings. And if you love to see our beautiful set and our wonderful faces, you can tune in to us on YouTube. Subscribe, comment what you like, comment what you don't like. We will take your input and then throw it in the garbage. And then also we have a website, which is pretty cool.
Did you just say throw it in the garbage where all your opinions are? Is that so you'll have company?
That goes in there with his tray of salt.
No, the whole block. We throw Dickey's opinions, everyone's bad opinions, and then just chuck the salt on top of them.
That way he could lick it easier.
Were you finishing?
I think, yeah, I did my China website. It's pretty cool.
That it?
That's it.
Oh, good. Well, that was our special Oscar spectacular thingy, whatever I called it at the beginning a long time ago. Hope you enjoyed it. It was quite the trip. And hey, check out our other podcast series. We're right now, as of this, we're talking about Pixar, and we're going through Avatar. Check out our DreamWorks stuff. And hey, again, follow us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And until next time, I'm Jared. That's Dickey on my left. Say something, Dickey.
What up?
And that's Jake on my right.
I would just like everyone to know that we've been talking for less time than it takes to watch Avatar: The Way of the Water.
So don't watch that. Instead, watch our podcast.
Correct.
And until next time, this is Off Slate Media saying goodbye. Hi, everyone.
That's it.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. You're going to laugh. Hi, everyone. I knew he couldn't take it.
I wasn't looking at you.
I just, hi, everyone. And I see on the corner. I was like, wow. Hell, even with your dealer stash, you still get carded. You look like the guy from Pawn Stars.
Hello, I'm Bill Nye.
It is Bill Nye.
Son of a gun. I always thought it was.
I was just making sure because we have to say his name soon.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Nye the British guy.
Bill Nye the British guy. Boo.
Oi, oi, oi.